It was May Madness in baseball. Now it's June, and we'll see what the calendar looks like. But the Super Regionals were set last night with some upsets. And the SEC was the brunt of those upsets. Florida gets upset at home by Troy. That means it's the Battle of the Trojans, the Trojan War. We got Troy and Little Rock. And now we know it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Troy. That's also been set. I think it's got to be a little bit of an advantage for Little Rock since they were done on Sunday, traveled back yesterday. They were home yesterday, whereas Troy had to play last night, probably got home. Maybe they're traveling home today. Now, the good thing for Troy is they get to host, so they don't have to do any traveling. They'll already be home, and Little Rock will take off tomorrow and head to Troy. But that's a quick turnaround. You think about it for Troy coming out of the losers bracket, playing all those games. So I'd say it's a small advantage, a little advantage for Little Rock going to Troy. Anyway, let's see. You got your matchup set. We'll go through them real quick. West Virginia beating Kentucky in a crazy game. Morgantown was hopping yesterday. That was a pretty cool environment afterwards. They'll take on Cal Poly. Then you got Troy and Little Rock. North Carolina, USC. USC went to College Station and beat the Aggies. You know, we criticize the RPI a lot around here. But USC had a great RPI. I think they were top 10, number 9 if memory is right. And they didn't get to host. They were sent off. They had to go to College Station. And they win that regional. They beat the Aggies last night. They'll take on North Carolina. Auburn, Ole Miss, little SEC matchup on the Plains. Auburn and Ole Miss did not play this year, so they'll meet in the Super Regionals. On the other side of the bracket, and these games all start on Saturday. All the 4 I just told you start on Friday. These games start on Saturday. We discussed this. Kansas will host OU. OU upset Georgia Tech in the final game. That means Kansas gets to host a Super Regional. Alabama will host St. John's. St. John's knocked off Florida State yesterday. That was another upset. And then Texas, Oregon. Those did host and did win. And the same with Georgia and Mississippi State. So another all-SEC matchup, 2 all-SEC matchups in the Super Regionals. Georgia swept Mississippi State earlier this year. And they'll be looking to move on to the College World Series. As the lowest seed remaining, you had 9 host teams move on to the Sweet 16. West Virginia, North Carolina, Auburn, Kansas, Alabama, Texas, Oregon, Mississippi State, and Georgia. You had 7 host teams lose their regional. Number 1, UCLA. Number 2, Georgia Tech. Number 8, Florida. Number 9, Southern Miss. Number 10, Florida State. 12 A&M, and 13 Nebraska. So it was a 9-7 ratio of teams winning their regional. Hosting a regional doesn't guarantee anything. And I got to think that's the same thing for the Super Regional. Just because you're hosting and have a little home field advantage doesn't necessarily mean you're going to Omaha. But right now you got 7 SEC teams playing, and that set a record. I didn't realize that. The SEC tweeted it out. That's the most conferences had in the Super Regionals, and they were so close. They were close to having 10. You know, Kentucky and West Virginia, very close game. A&M, South Carolina or Southern Cal was not a close game, but the Aggies they blew it. It didn't hurt my feelings. I'm sure it didn't hurt a lot of y'all's feelings that A&M blew their regional. And Florida, I watched Florida-Troy. And I was kind of rooting for Troy, and then Troy started hitting the ball, and I'm like, good Lord, these guys can hit. This team's good. I don't know if maybe want Florida to come back and win this game. But no, you get to the Super Regionals, you're playing good baseball, and you deserve to be there. No doubt Troy is, like Little Rock, playing their best baseball right now. Troy brought in a reliever, and that dude was freaking bringing it. Man, he had a nice fastball, had some off-speed stuff, and he was keeping Florida at bay in the mid-innings. I was very impressed with that Troy team. So now Little Rock will get on the bus tomorrow and head to Troy. I guess they drive. We'll have to find out if they're busing to Troy. Coach Curry was telling me the NCAA, I think it's a 7-hour cutoff. If you're within 7 hours, you bus. If it's more than 7 hours, then you fly. And I think that Troy is I think that's a little more than 7 hours. Let me see here. I think it's like 7.5 to Troy. I'll pull up my maps. Acre had to look it up for me yesterday. I didn't even realize Troy was the city. I've never been to Troy. Troy is 7 hours and 38 minutes from downtown Little Rock. Let's see. Suggested route takes me through 7 hours. 7 hours, 33 minutes. We're going to go, I wonder how many make that trip over. Looks like going through West Memphis and Memphis. Yep, go to Memphis, then cut down to Birmingham, and then down to Montgomery, and then from Montgomery to Troy. I guess I can end that. I do not want to start my route to Troy right now. So a 7.5 hour trip to Troy for the Trojans. Friday, Saturday, Sunday series for them. And they'll look to 2 wins away from the College World Series. You know, it seems like yesterday it was how awesome it is that they advanced out of the regionals for the first time in school history and playing in a super regional. But now the thought, you got to think this. 2 wins, and they're going to Omaha. That is the goal. I talked to Coach Curry last night, and he was like, you know what? We're playing with house money. We've been telling the guys all during regionals, play loose, play fun. Nothing changes. We got nothing to lose. Go play loose, go play, have fun, and get 2 wins. Can you imagine? Little Rock Trojans going to Omaha. They are 2 wins away. In fact, that side of the bracket, whoever wins between Troy and Little Rock in the first game of the College World Series, or I don't know which game it'll be, but they'll be matched up with the winner of West Virginia and Cal Poly. None of those 4 teams have ever won a game in Omaha. So history's going to be made one way or another, whether it's West Virginia versus Troy or Little Rock or Troy versus Cal Poly. No one has ever won a game at the College World Series. And, of course, Troy and Little Rock have never been. Neither one of these schools have ever been to Omaha. They're both making their first appearance in the Super Regionals. That's pretty cool when you think about it. No matter who wins these series, when they get matched up in Omaha, they'll both be going for their first victory ever at the College World Series. We're going to talk some more Trojans today. Evan Lee, pitching coach, first-year pitching coach for the Little Rock Trojans, is going to join us, and what a job he's done. That staff has been just outstanding all year. One of the reasons that's why they're playing in a super regional. They have the starting pitching. They have the bullpen. They have added depth. Brody Bunning, we talked about that story yesterday. Coach Curry has talked about it several times. A guy that's come on late for them and added an extra arm, and now he's in the equation. It's like, how do we use Brody Bunning in the super regionals now? They've kind of got their guys set up, their bullpen set up. They have a middle guy. They have a setup guy. They have their closer, and now they add Brody Bunning to it. They have their 3 weekend starters. So it's kind of a nice luxury for Evan Lee and Coach Curry to add in another weapon to the arsenal. And they've been hitting the ball well. So it's going to be a fun weekend for the Little Rock Trojans, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Let's see here. Mike and Bryant writes in. Little Rock gets a 600 ticket allotment for the Super Regionals. Okay. Thanks, Mike. I saw where the facility in Troy, it's not a big facility. I think it seats 4,000 is what it said on the tweet. But, they've got the capability of having some standing room only. That's going to be a hot ticket. Everybody there that supports the baseball program. It's going to be a packed stadium, a great environment.
Maybe be able to get some tickets from some of the Troy fans also. So, Got the 600 allotment, but if you show up there, maybe you could still get in and get into their allotment of tickets because, I mean, it may sell out, but you really don't know what to expect.
Yeah. I'm not sure how many Trojan fans were down at Southern Miss and then joined them later on. I know like Ray Tucker went and joined them later on. And I think as the weekend went along, they had more fans there Saturday than Friday, and then more fans there Sunday than Saturday. So
that's how it usually works when tickets come available from other fan bases.
Yeah, and the excitement grows. So hopefully
and it's the weekend. Yeah. So it gives people an opportunity to make it there and not have to get away from work.
4:00 start on Friday, and then once again Saturday, and then if needed, if necessary, game on Sunday for Little Rock. All right, here's the lineup today. Evan Lee, like I said, he will join us at 1:30 today and talk a little bit about the pitching and how this staff has come along. At 2:10, we have Coach Z. And at 2:30, Kyle Sutherland will join us to wrap up the softball season for the Razorbacks and talk about the portal season because there are already some prominent players in the portal, and Arkansas is going to have to replace a good senior class. So they have some work to do besides the freshman class that they brought in. But kind of did that yesterday with Razorback baseball, and we'll do it again tomorrow with Cabo. He will join us. He is all over the portal. Looking at some of the guys that have jumped in the portal and if they fit some of the needs Arkansas is going to have. And, of course, Arkansas baseball is going to have a lot of needs. Starting pitchers, weekend guys, outfielders, infielders, catcher. They need a lot. And Cabo, Matt Jones told us he expected anything from 10 to 15 portal signees for Arkansas. And just kind of depending on the number, who else leaves, which freshmen get drafted and don't come to Fayetteville. And then which Razorbacks that are eligible to be drafted don't get drafted or decide to come back. So that number's going to fluctuate. And Cabo, when I asked him, how many do you think they signed out of the portal? And he's like, I got the number at 13. So it fits right in with Matt Jones' 10 to 15. But they're going to be active in the portal, and I got to think the softball team will be active as well. Today we found out, I think it was Matt Norlander tweeted out, Arkansas and Arizona have agreed to a series of games in basketball. They're going to play this year in Phoenix, next year in Fayetteville, the following year in Tucson, and then there is in the contract a fourth year, if Arkansas wants it, or I guess if the teams want it, agree to it, that will be at a location closer to Fayetteville. Another neutral site game.
Little Rock. That's what it's or North Little Rock.
That would be awesome to have Arizona come to North Little Rock in December.
Oh yeah,
guaranteed sellout.
Absolutely, it would be one like no other games that we've seen so far.
Got to go way back, early 2000s when Illinois came here, but back then Arkansas wasn't as good. And Illinois was, I think, a top 5 team, top 10 team. That's probably been the best matchup in North Little Rock for a long time. I would think it's probably like a Dallas game, neutral site. A lot of Razorback fans, he likes to play down in Dallas too. Maybe a Tulsa, Oklahoma City type game, Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking – more major cities, but at the same time, Arizona's getting a game in state, so seems like Arkansas should get a game in state. Mm-hmm. Memphis would be another one of those locations that's close enough.
Mm-hmm. That would be cool. Going to Memphis's backyard, do a little recruiting while you're there, get the Razorbacks in town. That wouldn't be a bad idea. Metroplex has so much talent. It wouldn't surprise me if they try to do it in Dallas, in the Dallas DFW area. Dallas. That would be awesome. But I think it's a great series. I love it. It's funny. Back in the day, before pre-Cal, I was always so jealous of all these other basketball teams getting these great non-conference games. These TV games made for TV, neutral site, playing in all these, like mini tournaments. And I'm like, why doesn't Arkansas do that? Why is it just, all these non-conference games against all these other teams? Calipari comes, and it was like, when I saw it, it's like, oh, yeah, okay, ho-hum. Not a big deal. And I was like, how far have I come? That sounds like some of we were talking about yesterday, spoiled fans. You get that way in baseball, and you start to expect College World Series every single year. We're getting that way in basketball now. You're expecting trips to the Sweet 16. Now we're wanting the Final Four. Got to do better. But I was that way when that news broke today about Arizona in basketball, a non-conference game. I'm like, oh, yeah, that's Cal. That's to be expected. What's next, Cal? Who else you got lined up? What kind of a great schedule, non-conference schedule, are you going to have? Give me some more big-time matchups. Spoiled fan. But that's what we do. Always looking for more, better, more games. All right, that's the lineup for today. We are just getting started. We are going to talk with Evan Lee when we come back. Former Razorback pitcher, Major League pitcher, and now the pitching coach for the Little Rock Trojans. And I should have thrown in there high school baseball star in Arkansas. 210, Coach Z. 2:30, Kyle Sutherland. We'll work you in, take some phone calls, check the Middleton Heat and Air text line. Busy, fun day coming up. Glad you're with us. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Out of Bounds Hotline on 103.7 The Buzz is presented by D3 Auto Sales, Arkansas's #1 independent used car dealership, specializing in level and lifted trucks. D3AutoSales.com.
This is SportsCenter.
NFL trades and signings dominated the news yesterday. Headlined by the trade of last year's Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, to the Los Angeles Rams from the Cleveland Browns. In return, the Browns will get pass rusher Jared Verse, a two-time Pro Bowler, along with multiple draft picks, including next year's first-round pick from the Rams. The New England Patriots also finalized their trade for wide receiver A.J. Brown. The Eagles received 2 future picks for Brown, while the New York Giants announced the return of wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. In other national sports, it's finals week. Game 1 of the NHL Finals is tonight between the Vegas Golden Knights and Carolina Hurricanes. Puck drops at 7 on ABC. And we know we'll have a new champion in the NBA as well after the San Antonio Spurs took care of the Oklahoma City Thunder this weekend in 7. They start their run for a 6th NBA championship as a franchise tomorrow night, where they'll face the New York Knicks, looking for their first championship in 53 years. I'm Moose for the Buzz Radio Network.
From the people who brought you It's the Dog Park comes...
It's a hot spot on your dog's leg that the internet says you can treat it at home. You're not sure though, 'cause now it's oozing.
Protect your dog from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance.
Ooh, he's licking it. Super gross, dude.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states or situations. Coverage subject to policy terms.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. Mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Take it from Arkansas greats, Joe Klein and Pat Bradley.
The big national sports apps are now in Arkansas, taking over Oaklawn and Bentley, which are no longer local,
making Bet Saracen the only real local app.
Still Arkansans' fan fave.
Plus, Bet Saracen is still the official sports betting app of many of the state's colleges and universities.
Bet Saracen, built by Arkansans for Arkansas.
Bet with Arkansans. Bet with Bet Saracen.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 501-600-2763. Instead instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 501-600-2763. That's 501-600-2763.
Fraud is on the rise, and scammers are getting more convincing every day. But remember this, your bank will never call you asking for your debit card number, expiration date, PIN, security code, or online banking login information. If you receive a message or call that feels off, trust your instincts. Hang up. Don't click. Don't respond. Instead, contact your bank directly using a number you know and trust. Protect your information. Protect your money. When in doubt, call your bank.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the TruService Credit Union studios. TruService Credit Union, your headquarters for auto loans. With TruService, no payments for 60 days and rates starting as low as 3.99 APR on new, used, or refinance your current auto loan. TruService.net for pre-approval. Your auto loan experts.
Welcome back to Out of Bounds. Do you know there are only 3 Trojans in college athletics? Little Rock,
USC,
Troy, and USC.
Yeah.
All 3 won their regional. In fact, all 3 are on the same side of the bracket. Now, only 2 of them could make it to Omaha. One of them will. That's pretty wild. All 3 won their regional. Let's talk about the Little Rock Trojans. Evan Lee, their pitching coach, joins us on Out of Bounds. Evan, welcome in. How are you?
Oh, doing great, sir. A lot better today after that Hattiesburg regional.
All right, what was that 9th inning for? Because the 8th inning was a breeze. 9th inning, what was that like for you?
Got a little hairy. Brody Bunning, man, pitched his tail off. Got a little wild there in the 9th. I believe it started with a single and then 2 walks. And so before you know it, you got 2 outs, bases juiced, 1 swing of the bat, and you get walked off. And so there was a bunch of stakes. We had Brandon Westmoreland, our Friday night guy, warming up in the bullpen for just in case, but felt like the matchup was good with Brody against the left-handed bat, and was able to get ahead of him. And once he threw that fastball up, and once it left his hand, I was just like, man, that's the pitch. Like, that's the location, and obviously swung and missed, and it was just surreal to watch it in color live from the dugout, man. It was just awesome for the kids and awesome for the program. It's a step in the right direction for us.
What kind of work have you seen from Brody during the season to be ready for a moment like that?
Oh, so Brody, it's a great story. So early on in the year, just struggled with command, just wasn't in himself. And you're talking about a guy that had meaningful innings for us last year. He actually started on the weekend for us last year, and in the tournament late, really had some meaningful moments for us. Pitched in the tournament to get us to the LSU regional, and then actually pitched in the Baton Rouge regional. And so there was a bunch of experience there, and just was struggling with command a little bit. And we just kept working, and he went in and met with Coach Curry, and he's just like, I'll be ready for my moment. And we believed in him because we know what he's capable of doing. And we turned the ball to him against Lindenwood in the tournament. And he goes 8 innings, 2-run ball, and then hey, once we had to make a decision there about the 6th inning. We were just like, do we go for it, or do we try and win this game and worry about tomorrow? But Coach Curry looked at me and said, we're going to go for it. And Brody was the man for the job. And so it was awesome for him. He'd been prepping. We've been making some mechanical adjustments, working on his tilt, making sure he was able to get out in front of that fastball. We raised his sights a little bit because he does carry the baseball extremely well. started getting a real feel for that, and then being able to throw the breaking ball off of that just to keep people honest. And there you have it. Brody Bunning goes out there and does what he does and pitches us right into our first super regional in program history, man. And so he's a legend for life now.
Evan Lee with us on Out of Bounds. I got to wonder, Coach, what do you do with Brody Bunning this weekend?
Yeah, so he's a Swiss Army knife. Obviously, he can cover multiple roles. It just depends on the matchup. Obviously, we're diving into Troy at this moment, and so just being able to prepare him for a potential start, for a bullpen outing, whether it's to close the game, to be able to stretch the game to get to Tag Andrews or get to some of our guys in the back end. He is very, very he's a Swiss Army knife, and so just to be able to have him in that role, and he's game for whatever we need Brody Bunning to do, and just to be able to have this recent success of being able to close the game, but also being able to start the game. Fully confident that Brody Bunning will have a big-time contribution this weekend for sure.
All right. I was talking to Coach Curry last night, and he said after that final swing and miss, he looked over at you, I guess to hug you, and you were still charting. I would think the emotion of that final pitch, winning it, going to the super regionals, you would have been celebrating, but he said you were over there charting the final pitch.
It's just I've never been the emotional guy. It's just been funny. Like the biggest moments that you would feel like there'd be room for emotion with me. I just never really flinch, and it's just I had to make sure that I wrote down on the chart because I'm not superstitious, but I just like finishing it. And I was writing the punch out down, and he just started grabbing me by the stinking jersey, pulling me down into the dugout to start celebrating with everybody. And so it was a funny moment because I was just finishing up my chart like it was just another game. But obviously it's a big time. It's probably the biggest win in program history. And so just to be a part of that, it's just incredible for the program, for the university, but more important, just the players and the coaches and the families that are involved in it. It was awesome. But yeah, it's just funny. I was just finishing my chart up and before he drugged me into the dugout.
Evan, Brandon Westmoreland, what a great story. Coach Curry said he made him some money with that start on Friday. What all have y'all done with him to make him the pitcher he is today? Oh, so he is a great story. So Brandon Westmoreland, Connors State Junior College. He 6'6", came in. He's 90-91, and you could tell extreme pitchability, being able to throw the ball where he wanted to. So the locations were great. The command was great, and the biggest thing was being able to work on the lower half, be able to hinge better, be able to land better, release the ball out in front a little bit more. We got him into the weight room. We really started working on his weight, really started working on his strength and conditioning. And before long, you look up and Brandon Westmoreland was 93, 96, and right before the spring, he actually the tune-up outing, as we say, the week before Friday, he gets out there and he gives up like 7 or 8 runs. It was one of those deals where we wanted him to go through it, and 6 days before the season starts, we're like, hey, we're going to try this sinker grip, and you're going to throw it 70% of the time. And he looked at me like I had 4 eyeballs, and he was just like, what are you talking about? I was just like, you're about to throw this sinker, and it's about to change your life. And sure enough, we go out there, and it's 93, 96, and before long, the sinker is what's grabbing everybody's attention. And Brandon Westmoreland goes from the fastball being a little light, and now it's his dominant pitch. As the season progressed, we added a cutter into the repertoire. The slider was always a really good pitch. He's starting to be able to throw changeups against left-handed hitters, and before long, Brandon Westmoreland's a top 10 round draft prospect. And so Brandon was always the elite strike thrower, just needed the velocity, and then just be able to have a different fastball shape for the metric standpoint to be able to play against right-handers and left-handers. And you look up, and now he's a legitimate major league prospect. It's been a lot of story, and he's a tremendous hard worker. He's a winner. That's the biggest thing. You always look under the hood. What do you have under the hood? And he's a winner at the end of the day. Evan Lee is with us on Out of Bounds, the Little Rock Trojans pitching coach. Isaac Avenue, I hear he is quite the character. Well, the laugh just gave it away.
The fridge. So we call him the Iceman. So, I mean, it's hilarious because he knows his role, and I mean he's a legitimate 300 pounds, but he can do the splits like one of the most flexible humans you've ever seen. And so he's our heart and soul from a pitching staff standpoint. Just the personality's off the charts. one of those teammates that you always have. That's the glue guy that keeps everybody loose, that knows his role and knows his purpose. And then when it comes to being able to get things done late in the game, like you love that guy in the role because you'll fight for him and he'll fight for you. And so, I mean, he's a tremendous athlete for his size. You're talking about a 93 mile an hour right-hander with 2 different breaking balls. And, I mean, just the batting averages against are super low. There's a lot of under 200 batting average against his pitches. And so the fridge, man, he comes out of the pen. Everybody loves him. Everybody's laughing because he's coming out to Destiny's Child. And so he just embraces his role, he embraces who he is, and he goes out there and you talk about another winner. There's a reason that we're doing what we're doing. It's because of guys like Brandon and Isaac.
What about Tag Andrews? I mean, I think that's a heck of a story. Redshirted at Arkansas last year and then came, back home from Maumelle to Little Rock, and he has meant everything to your bullpen.
He's the man. That's who we're trying to get the ball to, and what a wonderful story. I like the Tag bet on himself. It's hard. It's hard when you're at the University of Arkansas. You've dreamed of being it as a kid. To be there as a kid, I was a Razorback. I know the lull and what the Razorbacks mean to this state. And so he bet on himself. He's like, you know what? Like, I want to go where I can pitch. I want to go where I can contribute, and I can be one of the guys, not just another guy. And, man, he just really has embraced this role, and we wouldn't be where we're at without him. I mean, obviously, early on in the season, just being able to develop and learn and fail, that's the biggest thing, because when you get to the higher levels, like if you fail, you may not touch the ball for a month. And so just for him, like, to fail and to be able to get the ball again and to continue to go and learn about himself and learn how to be successful at this level, and now he's thriving. Now he's the closer as a freshman, and you're talking about a guy that could be your Friday night starter next year, but the role right now is get the ball to Tag, and we feel pretty confident that if we can get the ball to Tag here in the next 2 games in these 18 innings of stint of baseball, we feel pretty good that we can make a run at Omaha. That's how important Tag is to this team, and we believe in him that much, and he believes in himself. And so he's a pit bull, and it's a blessing to be able to coach him.
How much has he improved just by the experience alone?
Oh, tremendous. You can't get better unless you're getting real game time reps. Bullpens are great, and live BPs on a Tuesday are great, but until you're in the moment with the stress, with the anxiety, with all on the line, with all the chips cashed in, you're not going to get better. And so that's the biggest thing that Tag has figured out is just like, hey, like I had to pitch. And he's pitched 50 innings for us this year, right at a 3 ERA with a bunch of punch outs. And he had to go through the wars early on. It wasn't just the smoothest thing, battling himself early. And then now down the stretch, the last 2 months, it's been unbelievable to watch him, just the transformation that he's made and the ability to go out there and get the ball every freaking week. It's something to be able to know that you're going to get the ball, that if you do fail, you're going to get the ball again, that you have a coaching staff that believes in you and trusts you. And at the end of the game, like when we're able to turn the ball to Tag Andrews, we feel really, really good about it.
Well, and he's durable, apparently, because of what he did at the conference tournament. I mean, he was used a lot and came through every time.
Absolutely, and that's who he is. He's a winner. He's tough as nails, and he's not the biggest guy in the world. You're talking about a 6'1", 170-pound guy that just understands that, hey, like I will do whatever it takes for this program to make sure that we come out on top. And that's the kind of guys that you got to have. You got to have the guys that lay it all out there on the line and will sacrifice their body for the team. And that's just who Tag is. I'll ask him, like, how do you feel? And then he'll say, I feel great. And I was just like, no, seriously, honestly, how do you feel? And it's always just, I feel good, coach, and whatever you need me to do. And so I've just got to the point where I'm just like, can you give me 6 outs? Can you give me 3 outs? And he'll just say, yes, sir. And that way he knows how many outs I need in a particular day or a particular outing. And he's ready for that role and sets his mind to it. And when he gets out there, the sky's the limit for him.
Little Rock Trojans pitching coach Evan Lee is with us on Out of Bounds. You got a great back end of the bullpen. With Gage Haley to Tag Andrews. I want to know more about Gage Haley.
Gage Haley, so he's a Mississippi State transfer. The biggest thing with Gage is just the pitchability. You're talking about a command right-hander with a unique release height, unique metrics from a pitch standpoint. He throws a 88, 90, up to 92 fastball, but he turns right back around. He throws an 86, 88 mile-an-hour changeup. So it's almost like the Zach Greinke effect, where you're just like two pitches at the same velocity. One stays true with a little cut to it, and then the other one's like a splitter. And so as you saw with Case and Evans last year against us in the tournament that actually eliminated us and sent us home, Gage Haley's very similar to that. He throws that changeup right off that fastball, has a big-time sweep and curveball, and just he's durable as well. You talk about, I call him the four horsemen down there with Tag, Evans, Gage, Beasley. There's a lot of guys that are extremely capable down there, but Gage, he's our middle guy. He's the guy that when Brandon or one of our starters comes out of the game, we usually turn the ball to Gage to be able to get us to Tag, to be able to get us to Isaac. And I'm telling you, the last weekend of the regular season, we didn't have Gage because he was injured, and we got swept. And so that's how valuable Gage is, because he's that guy in the middle that can get us to the back end of the bullpen and to bridge the gap to Tag and to bridge the gap to whoever we need to close it out. So he's invaluable to our team. He's the guy. He's the missing piece. He's the missing link. It's really special with him.
How's your first year as a pitching coach been?
It's been a lot. It's been a lot of fun. The biggest thing that I had to get over is I can't control it. I'm not in control. I'm not the one throwing the baseball. Early on, it was a struggle for me because I wanted everybody to do great. I wanted everybody to be perfect and go out there and dominate, and that's just not obtainable. And obviously, the biggest thing was just understanding how to structure practice, being able to call games for guys that don't have the same kind of stuff that I did, or different kind of ways to pitch. It was awesome to be able to learn a lot about myself, making adjustments and what I need to do to be successful, how to scout, how to evaluate, the recruiting aspect, being able to understand why people tell you no, and to be able to also recruit guys and be able to sign guys to come here to Little Rock, which after the Hattiesburg Regional, it's been very easy. The phones are blowing up. There's actually people texting me wanting to come to Little Rock, which is awesome. And so it's been a great full circle moment for me just to go from a player and understanding what they're going through right now, and to be able to help and assist them and guide them along their way from a routine to how we train to how do we make adjustments in the moment, and just being able to help and guide those guys, because it wasn't too long ago that I was in the shoes that you're in right now. And so just to be relatable like that and to be able to understand who they are and how they need to be successful and how they get out, and to be able to help assist with that, man, it's been incredible. And just being able to just to help them try and get to achieve their dreams. And we're on the brink of being able to accomplish a lifelong dream for every baseball player in the country.
How much has Coach Curry meant to you? Because there are times, Evan, when I'm listening to you talk, there's some mannerisms, there's some speech patterns, and I'm like, that sounds like Coach Curry.
Oh, he's the best. He is incredible to work for. There's not a better human being on the face of the planet than Chris Curry. Just when I first got done playing and I was retired, and just really didn't know what I was going to do with my career moving forward, Coach Curry, he invited me to breakfast and just gave me the opportunity. Didn't have to, was already successful of a program. They just won the regular season in 2024 and opened his doors for me to be able to help and be a part of the program while I finished up my degree. And just, from a college baseball standpoint, I owe everything that I have right now as a pitching coach, and just be a part of such an amazing program to him. And I learn every day from him. He just continues to be an extremely important mentor for me, just learning how to be able to call a game, how to manage pitchers, how to make adjustments, and to be able to manage the game and the moment, to be able to control my emotions, because there's some fire left in there from being a player that Coach Curry, he's stoic and he's poised and he's calm in the moment. It's just being able to learn and the adjustments that I need to make. And if I'm a shadow of who Coach Curry is as a person and who he is as a baseball coach, it's just an incredible honor to be in the dugout with him, and he means the world to me.
I know this is just your first year as a full-time pitching coach. What do you have grand plan? What would you like to do one day, Evan?
The biggest thing, I love living in the moment. Right now, I enjoy being the pitching coach at the University of Arkansas Little Rock, and I could see myself doing it until I got gray hair and I look like my dad. It's just one of them things where I enjoy being here. I'm born and raised in Little Rock, and just love the state of Arkansas. If there's opportunities that that I earn. It's not necessarily that I've done anything. It's just that we have good players and we've won some baseball games. Then that time will come, and there'll be a decision that I'll have to make. But ultimately, I feel like I down the road would love to be a head coach one day. That's just something that I think that I'd be really good at, with being on the offensive side of the ball and being able to be on the pitching side as well. Just the knowledge of the game. I've been around some of the best in the baseball, from Coach Curry to Coach Kirk Bach to Coach Van Horn to Tony Vitello. All of those guys were my coaches and coaching with currently, and so it's just been an incredible wealth of knowledge for me. And you think about it all the time, like, what would I do as a head coach? And a lot of it is what we're doing here at Little Rock, because Coach Curry does such an incredible job. But I think in the future, that's something that I would love to do, be a head coach. Love being a pitching coach right now, and especially at Little Rock. It's been an honor to be here. And hey, I just kind of live in the present, and whatever happens, happens, and what comes, and go like that.
That's awesome. How's your dad?
Oh, he's great. He's enjoying it. I call it his life goal is to get away from an iPhone and get to a flip phone. He says he's close. So the less people that give him calls on a daily basis asking for something, the better. And so he's proud of it. And so he's enjoying out there in Wooster, Arkansas, with my mom. They moved out there to our family farm, and so he's loving life over at Morrilton School District. So it's been a lot of fun for him.
That's awesome. Tell him I said hello. Evan, thanks, man.
Oh, yes, sir.
Hey, best of luck.
Oh, thank y'all so much for having me.
You bet. Go get 2 more wins, and let's talk next week.
Oh, call it. Go ahead and mark it down. We're going to make it happen.
I love it. Thanks, man. Best of luck.
Yes, sir.
Evan
Thank
Lee
you.
joining us on Out of Bounds. That is cool. When we come back, we'll wrap up our first hour. We can take a phone call. I'll hit the Middleton Heat and Air text line. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
Homes has custom-built, manufactured homes under $100 per square foot. They have hundreds of floor plans available to fit your family's needs. Homes start as low as $39,995. They can finance your new home together with land so you can have one easy payment. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 bedrooms available for immediate delivery. You can view their inventory online at hawkshomes.net. Let their family help your family. Hawks Homes, Bryant and Conway.
Hi, it's Frank Fletcher from the Fletcher Dodge store here in Sherwood. Folks, if you're shopping for a new car or truck, I hope you'll come see us and give us a chance to earn your business. We have huge discounts, 0% financing available, and we'll give you $1,000 over Kelly Blue Book value for your trade-in. Folks, I guarantee you a hassle-free buying experience. And if you've had credit problems in the past, listen to this. We have an easy pre-approval process. Just go to FletcherCredit.com to get started. You can be pre-approved in minutes. It's really not hard. FletcherCredit.com. Folks, we're also still buying cars every day. If you got an old car or truck you want to turn into cash, bring it to Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood and ask for Chris or Andy. Shop Fletcher Dodge in Sherwood before you buy anywhere else. Shop in person or shop online at FletcherDeals.com. Thank you.
Be a part of a new era of Razorback football under Coach Silverfield. Join the Razorback Foundation for as little as $50 for priority access to tickets, parking, and exclusive events with coaches and players. Text JOIN to 479-349-4313 or visit RazorbackFoundation.com. That's JOIN to 479-349-4313. As a Razorback Foundation member, you'll experience a lifetime full of Razorback memories. Go Hogs!
Ever wonder what bugs do when you're not looking? With Bugtopia at the Little Rock Zoo, the world beneath your feet gets big. Like really big. Meet the bugs that pollinate, build, and buzz our planet to life, up close and larger than ever. Bugtopia, crawling into the Little Rock Zoo March 21st through September 20th. It's wonder magnified and included with your zoo admission. Learn more at littlerockzoo.com.
FanDuel, in partnership with Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort, is now available in Arkansas. FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. FanDuel in Arkansas has you covered. From spreads to player points to threes and more, build it all into one same-game parlay and go for the bigger payouts. So if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, bet them on FanDuel. FanDuel, in partnership with Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. Head to FanDuel.com/Arkansas to get started. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA and Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort. 21 plus and present in Arkansas. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets, which expire 7 days after receipt. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Randy Rainwater from Drive Time Sports. Coming up Tuesday, Rick and I will be joined by Neil Atkinson from Bed Saracen, Fox 16 Sports Director Courtney Mims, Trey Biddy thanks to Chris Crane Hyundai, and Genesis of Conway, and Kevin Hoop Scoop McPherson thanks to Hogville.net. It's all happening Tuesday from 4 to 7 on 103.7 The Buzz.
Out of bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the TruService Credit Union studios. TruService Credit Union. Membership has its rewards with low-rate auto loans, competitive mortgages, and one of the lowest interest rate credit cards in the nation. TruService Credit Union. Online at TruService.net.
Back at it, finishing up our first hour of Out of Bounds. That was fun talking with Evan Lee. Good to catch up with him. Middleton Heat and Air text line. Craig says Coach Lee sounds like he's ready to be a head coach. Great interview. Didn't realize he was so young. Let's give him a little time. This is his first year as pitching coach. He was on the staff last year in a secondary role. First year as full-time pitching coach. Pete will be a head coach one day. You can tell. Ron in Pine Bluff says, so let it be written, so let it be done. I loved it when he said, let's go ahead and mark it down for next week. Let's get it done. Interview with Evan Lee next week talking about Omaha. How much fun would that be?
Oh, that'd be great.
Just thinking about the possibility of the Trojans going to Omaha. It's pretty cool. 2 wins. Hey, you can get it done. 2 wins. TP in Little Rock. Can y'all play back at the beginning of the year when Wes said the Hogs had a deep pitching rotation and starters? Now we're saying that the pitching was the problem. We say the same thing every year about the pitching. It's just a lack of evaluation of talent, not lack of NIL money. Well, can it not be both? And you don't have to play it back. I know what I said. And I wasn't the only one saying it, but I'll live up to it. I mean, think about it at the beginning of the season. They were trying to decide between 5 guys to be the 3 weekend rotation guys. You had Gackle, you had Dietz, you had Gibbler, you had Fisher, you had DeCreamer, who pitched in the College World Series last year for Oregon State. You had 5 guys to choose from. Now, fast forward to the end of the year, what happened? Gackle was inconsistent. Gibbler lost his slider. Wasn't the same pitcher. Fisher, I don't know what happened to Fisher. I mean, he started off the year as their best pitcher on Sunday and completely, towards the end, could not trust him. DeCreamer gets hurt. You also had, Kircher coming in at the beginning of the year, throwing 97, looked like he was going to be a bullpen option. Cooper Dawson. And, in the back of your mind, you're like, they got that ace up their sleeve in Wiggins. And we all know what happened with Wiggins. So, at the beginning of the year, it looked like they had a deep pitching staff.
On paper, they did. But sometimes, the expectations that are there, you don't live up to them. And that's a case of it.
Yeah. The guys did not continue to develop, or they lost a pitch with some of the guys, or lost their location and couldn't throw strikes. And so then they fell out of favor. I would say Also, the lack of development of the freshmen. I would have liked to have seen, and look, Brissy was given, they were given opportunities and they failed, but we saw them at the very end, the last game, both throwing clean innings. I would have liked to have seen those freshmen been brought along a little bit more, pitching more in midweek games. But, once again, Arkansas got in a position where they had to win those midweek games because they lost games to UTA and Stetson, and it was like those midweek games all of a sudden became a little bit more important, and you couldn't use developmental players for what it's really needed. I think that hurt Arkansas. Kurt and Bryant. Hey, guys. Troy Stadium is newly renovated and seats 2,500, a nice place. Their max crowd was 3,900 last month versus Alabama. Very short porch in right field. And Kurt, I saw the picture that they tweeted out, Troy did, about, when they were hosting the Supers, and it was from outfield behind the wall. It looks really nice. It's a good-looking park. It's got like 3 big sections behind home plate, or one, right in the middle behind home plate, and then one to the left, one to the right. Looks like there's a place out in the outfield where you can bring lawn chairs and stand out there. But it is a nice press box. It looked like they had a couple of suites up there and locations for radio and TV. It was a legit nice stadium. Not huge, like you said, seats 2,500. But obviously, I think they said in the tweet they could hold 4,000, had 3,900 for Alabama. So it's not going to be a dump that they're playing in. No way. 870 says, let's play Kansas somewhere this year in basketball. I had fun running my mouth against with the Jayhawk fans about baseball. I saw where Kansas has already released their schedule for this year, their non-conference schedule, so I think their non-con is done. But, yeah, I'd be sign me up for that. That would be fun. 501 wants to know, who was the band that Joe played out of the break? Who was that? Let's see. That's a library. Where's that? I don't have it.
We're on a break.
Oh, all right. Why is it not playing?
Genesis of Conway. The future of luxury today.
Political strategist and host of the Sunday Buzz, Bill Vickery, gets in the mix with the guys on Morning Mayhem, courtesy of Arkansas's best Chevy dealers, Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Radio for Arkansas Sports Geeks by Arkansas Sports Geeks. All day, every day. 103.7 The Buzz.
KABZ Little Rock.
The reward to find the suspects in a Little Rock post office burglary has been increased to $1,000. Investigators say 2 women stole personal business checks and other mail from the Asher station on May 17th. If you have any information about where these women are, please call the Little Rock Police Department. And the FAA is investigating a small plane crash near Sheridan. Sheridan volunteer fire crews were called to the site Sunday afternoon. Sheridan Municipal Airport officials believe the plane lost power, causing it to crash along Highway 270. 2 men were on board, but did not have any serious injuries. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm Kara Case, Jessica Rockwell.
Country music star and Arkansas native Joe Nichols joins Morning Mayhem each week, courtesy of Powers Truck Parts and Service. Does your heavy-duty truck need service? Call Powers Truck Parts and Service with everything from headlights to taillights. Online at powerstruckparts.com. It's Joe Nichols with Morning Mayhem on 103.7 The Buzz.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with KARK's Pat Walker.
Partly cloudy today, a 10% chance of a rain shower as a cool front moves through. It will not be in the 90s. We'll get up to 86 today. Plus, from the middle of the day and through the afternoon, because of the front, it will get a little breezy. We'll have a northeast wind of 10 to 20. Tonight, a northeast wind around 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy and cooler with a low of 62. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Pat Walker.
New Benihana promotion. Monday and Tuesday, lunch and dinner, 10% off of everything on the menu. Come to Benihana's.
This is Trey Schapp.
Tune in each Friday morning at 5:30 right here on The Buzz as I bring you From the Shortgrass, presented by UAMS Health, Orthopedics, and Sports Medicine. If you like to hear interesting stories about the game of golf, this is for you. You can also find it wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey folks, this is Mitch Ward, proudly serving the great state of Arkansas with Red River Auto Group for over 20 years. We started as Arkansas's #1 Ram Dodge Chrysler Jeep dealer, but we've also got Ford and Toyota. And I like to think we've got the largest discounts than anybody in the state. But folks, really, if you bring us any reasonable deal right now, we're going to try to put something together. If that means us giving a little too much for your trade or selling ours or just a little too cheap or fighting for the best rate, we're going to make it happen. Check us out at redriverauto.com.
When you think CertaPro Painters, you probably think interior and exterior painting for homes and commercial properties, which we do beautifully. But did you know that we're more than just paint? CertaPro also provides expert carpentry, sheetrock repairs, deck and fence staining, and durable garage and patio concrete coatings. Whether you're refreshing your home, upgrading a commercial space, or restoring outdoor areas, we deliver professional results with the quality and service you expect. Call CertaPro Painters today or schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. CertaPro Painters, that's certainty.
Take it from Arkansas greats Joe Klein and Pat Bradley.
The big national sports apps are now in Arkansas, taking over Oaklawn and Bentley, which are no longer local.
Making Bet Saracen the only real local app.
Still Arkansas's fan fave.
Plus, Bet Saracen is still the official sports betting app of many of the state's colleges and universities.
Bet Saracen, built by Arkansans for Arkansans.
Bet with Arkansans. Bet with Bet Saracen.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET. Progressive knows that boat days can come with unexpected problems.
Oh no, I dropped my lip balm in the water. I can't think of anything worse than the looming threat of potentially having chapped lips. It was ginger vanilla too, my favorite flavor.
If a real problem comes along, your boat's protected 24/7 with Progressive, so you can keep worrying about boater problems. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in D.C.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Arkansas sports fans, get ready to tee it up with the legends. The annual Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame Celebrity Golf Tournament is set for June 8th at Chenal Country Club. Grab your team for a 4-man scramble and get paired with a celebrity for a day of golf, stories, and unforgettable moments. It's your chance to play along the names you've cheered for. Spots are limited, so sign up now at arksportshalloffame.com, arksportshalloffame.com, or call 501-313-4158.
Ever wonder what bugs do when you're not looking? With Bugtopia at the Little Rock Zoo, the world beneath your feet gets big. Like really big. Meet the bugs that pollinate, build, and buzz our planet to life, up close and larger than ever. Bugtopia, crawling into the Little Rock Zoo March 21st through September 20th. It's wonder magnified and included with your zoo admission. Learn more at littlerockzoo.com.
Looking for something unique to do in Little Rock? Head to the Museum of Discovery. Explore hands-on exhibits, try real science experiments, and meet live animals up close. Little ones will love the Small Fry Fish Camp Gallery, designed just for early learners. Catch an electrifying bipolar musical Tesla coil show or live science demonstration during your visit. And with special events happening all the time, there's always something new to experience for all ages. So plan your visit and check out upcoming events at museumofdiscovery.org.
Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz.
But now I'm counting this. Parmesan with my accountant lips. In fact, I'm down in this. You say with my boo babe tastes like Kool-Aid for the analyst. Girl, I can buy your Westie world with my base stuff. I know that it's good. Won't you sit it on my taste buds? I get way too petty once you let me do the extras. Pull up on your block and break it down. We playing Tetris. AM to the PM, PM to the AM phone. Eat up your per diem. You just gotta hate them phone. If I quit your BM, I still rock Mercedes phone. If I quit this season, I still be the greatest funk. My left stroke just went viral.
All right, it's time for your Razor Hog update. See, basketball-wise, the big news, Arkansas and Arizona agreed to a 3-year, maybe 4-year series. It'll start in Tucson this year, then Fayetteville next year, then back to Arizona. Actually, the first game is in Phoenix, neutral site. They'll play in the home of the Phoenix Suns, then Fayetteville, then back to Tucson, and then a 4th year is possible with a off-campus game at a neutral site somewhere closer to Fayetteville. Pretty exciting to have a 4-year deal with Arizona. Quality basketball, major TV, I'm sure. See, softball's done, baseball, it'll all be about the portal. We'll talk softball portal with Kyle Sutherland a little bit later in the show. Kevin Bohannon will be with us tomorrow, and we can talk about the portal and summer ball for the Razorbacks. Just saw where one of the summer league teams is welcoming Razorback pitcher Jackson Kirchner from Little Rock Christian Academy. Very important summer for him to just throw some innings and get a grip at the location, and hopefully he can be a major part of the Razorback rotation or bullpen next season. Also, track and field. The finals are set. Arkansas men are number 1 in the country, and they have the most athletes by far going to the national championship, so they're a big favorite to win the national championship. The women are, I think, 6th, not at nearly as many as the others. I think they had 9 qualify for the national championships, but Arkansas men and women will be trying to win a national championship here soon. And that's it. That's a look at your Razor Hog update. We'll have Coach Z coming up here momentarily, talk a little basketball with him, obviously get his thoughts on the series with Arizona. And then you got the portal. I did see where Joe Tipton reported last night Coach Cal was in Mexico looking at several guys are on the team, USA Under-18 team playing down there. And one of those guys is going to announce here in 8 days. He's broke it down. I think it's Baylor, Arkansas, Michigan, and one other team that he has got it down to his Final Four. And there is talk that he could reclassify for 2026. He is a shooting guard. Coach Z joins us now. What's up, Coach? How are you?
Hey, what's going on, Westmore? Joe, Franklin, good to be on with y'all today.
You bet. We were just talking about the coach down in Mexico doing a little recruiting down there, but there's a 2027 shooting guard that could possibly reclassify for 2026. And I kind of feel like that's a need. They need another one or two, somebody to take some minutes, because you can't have Jordan Smith and Jeremiah Wilkinson playing 40 minutes. They got to have somebody else to help out in the backcourt.
Yeah, we had all those guards before, and all of a sudden when you take obviously two big guys, really three that ate up a ton of minutes, in Malik and Darius, and then, DJ here before last was second in the league in minutes. Last year he was a little bit less, but those are three guys that played a lot of minutes at guard. You got a lot to replace, but I do think that they see the opportunity to play some of those bigger guys will slide over and play some guard as well. Obviously, Billy is a versatile guy. I was talking to Bruiser Flint the other day, and he's like, man, we just feel like Bruiser. I mean, with Billy, Coach Cal doesn't really play a numbers game, positions. He likes positionless basketball. We all do. We all say that. Billy really could play all 5 positions on the floor. It's just the biggest, strongest, low post guys, the only ones he really has any problems with. But everybody else, he's fine guarding, and then they have to try to figure out how to guard him. He helps you so much with that versatility. But, yeah, those two, with Jeremiah and Jordan, they're going to play a lot of minutes. And the way Jeremiah shoots the basketball, he'll probably be 30 minutes a game. Jordan will probably be 35, 36 minutes a game. And then Abdu, and one thing about Abdu Torre, is a good-looking, athletic, versatile kid, too. and he plays very, very hard. They're here now. They're here doing stuff. They're doing skill work. I haven't got to see him play any pickup yet. I love pickup. Hadn't got to see him do any 5-on-5 in a team structure. They've not done any of that yet, but they're doing skill work, and you can see that their size. This is a very athletic team. And but yeah, I still think as I look at this team, and as Cal will be seeing his team every day now as they get into workouts, I could see us adding at least one more guy and probably two more guys before August. And now with the way that there's still a lot of kids in the portal, and now is it somebody's going to be a first-team All-SEC guy? Probably not. But there's still some people in that portal, still guys looking. I saw the other day where, Ole Miss picked up a guy just like 2 days ago. So it's there's still people, out there in the portal to get.
Coach, we talk so much about bigs and maybe still a need for bigs. We talk a lot about guards, but as far as wings, and I know we're talking about positionless basketball and players being versatile, but wing players, how do you think this roster is set up right now?
That's a good question. I think that's probably the strength of this roster is those kind of interchangeable, versatile guys that can talk about JJ, Abdu, Billy. Those are three somewhat, in some ways, similar guys. Each one of them's their own different player, but they all have some similarities based on playing super hard, being really athletic, playing with a toughness level. All three of those guys bring that. They're not the prototypical 6'4" shooting guard. They're really not that. They're not a 6'3", 6'4" Malik Thomas type of a shooting guard. They're not really that, but they're a little bit more versatile as well. So, the primary ball handlers as of right now are going to be obviously Jordan Smith and Jeremiah. And Jeremiah's a combo guy. And so those guys can handle the ball, and they're going to play a ton of minutes. Those other three are going to be interchangeable. And then, the bigs. And the bigs are, you got bigs. I was impressed looking at Cooper Bowser. He was a little bit bigger, a little more filled out than he looked on film to me. And he has a nice frame to him. So I think there's some guys out there that they still are interested in and still looking at and making sure guys can come in and help this team. That's why I feel like they're still going to add some players.
Got Matt Zimmerman with us on Out of Bounds. Coach, I know you got to sit down with some of these newcomers. What were your thoughts just talking with them?
Yeah, we did visit with 5 of them last week, and all in one day, and I'm very impressed. And I hope you guys get to talk to some of them as well, and because you're going to really like them. They've got a seriousness to them. They smile big. They've got great personalities. I was in different ways really impressed with all of them. Like if we have time to run through it, like with Mika, a young man from Finland. He spent time in Arizona. He spent time in Kansas. He's played all over the globe, and he was like talking to this international guy that really is. He's so experienced for his young age, and I was like, "Does being in Fayetteville, is that it?" He's like, "No, I don't. I can be anywhere. I've lived all over, And he's been around the globe at a young age, and I love that about him. He is so talented, and he's really athletic. And of course, JJ, man, I don't know if you saw the clips where he's talking about his family and he likes to be a special education teacher and how he wants to make an impact on youth, and the example he wants to be. So mature, so great. And JJ, man, he's just like perfect talking to JJ Andrews. But so proud to be here, wants to be a great Razorback. I think, they're going to go to this 5 years, and he's probably, he may be quicker through here than I think. But he's a guy, he would be a great 3 or 4 or 5 year representative for the Razorbacks. And you can see that out of JJ. Jeremiah, a little more serious, older guy, experienced guy, very smart player, very smart person. And then Abdu, and he was really good, and just talking about his background and being from Connecticut and an East Coast guy and bringing kind of an edge to Arkansas, but bringing a toughness to the Razorbacks in his own way. Those guys were awesome to visit with. I really enjoyed it. And now you got to be able to play, right? Talking is not playing. but those guys were really, really good to sit and visit with. Now they've been on campus about 3 days, and so they were all eager, you know. And I don't know how. Fast forward to January, they're probably not willing to sit down and visit quite as long as that. You know what I mean? But they were great.
Coach, as far as you mentioned that you haven't seen any pickup yet. Have they not played, or you just haven't had a chance to see them? And,
No, I don't think they've been playing. They've been doing skill workouts, Joe.
Okay.
What they do is they come in, and there'll be 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of them with the coach. Chen's have been doing quite a bit of them. And, Tyler's been out there working with some guys, Tyler Eulis. And so they're doing skill work. When they first got here, that first week, they're in physicals, they're in the sickle cell testing, they're in all the heart testing, they're doing all these things. So until they get, that's 4 or 5 days to get them cleared. So that kind of ate up. Monday was Memorial Day, and that ate up most of the week getting through all those things. So they've all been, cleared through now, and so the workouts can start. You have, as long as if people around the country follow the rules, you got 8 weeks to do summer practices, basically. And so unless you want a foreign tour, and then you got those additional 10 days to practice. And so as they go through this, I would assume this is counting as week 1 because they're doing skill workouts, but they've not done any team stuff yet at all. They've not done anything yet, and I think then they're going to have some camps. There's going to be basketball camps going around, so they'll kind of disperse a little bit. And some of them used to be your camps were all in Fayetteville. Now the NCAA allows you can go to Little Rock, you can go to Searcy, you can go anywhere and do camps, so they'll disperse a little bit. So I think next week will probably be their first live, real practice with everybody out on the court.
Are they able to do some of that on their own, not being advised by coaching staff, but if 6 of them wanted to get together and play 3-on-3, they can do that?
Absolutely. They can play one-on-one. Every once in a while, I love that last summer. You walk in there sometimes, there'll be guys and they're playing a little one-on-one. But the era of pickup has changed from when I coached. We were always, Nolan Richardson was a pickup guy. You would play pickup, and Mike Anderson was a pickup guy. And we've gotten away from it. Coach Musk didn't really like pickup games. And so but back in the Coach Richardson era, you couldn't practice them all summer. So pickup was more necessary. Now you can have practices. So a lot of them don't like to just let them go and let them play. I like pickup sometimes where they can get extra hours in. The negative is they can pick up a bad habit, but hopefully, as a good coach, good coaching staff, you make sure those habits don't expand. And then also, you always have to worry about an injury, but you don't get any better unless you're pushing yourself. And I love to see, man, when you think back to Corliss and Scotty and those guys, when they got here, they had I was working camps. They had incredible summer games. Now, you couldn't practice them in the summer like you can now, but those pickup games were incredible. And, there'd be a little trash being talked. There'd be sometimes games would get a little bit wild, but they really got after each other and talking about strong, aggressive competition. I love that.
Matt Zimmerman with us on Out of Bounds. Coach, sometimes guys come in listed at 6'7", 6'8", or whatever, and they're really like 6'5". You got to see these guys. Are they legit, do you think, on their sizes?
Probably a couple of them aren't. But I think that, when I look at, Cooper, to me, looked bigger, than what I thought that he was going to be. Even his frame, I'll tell you, he was bigger than I thought he was going to be. And I'd met him when he came through here on a visit, Jordan Smith. But when I got to sit down with him and Wes, he's got this big, broad shoulders, kind of like Darius, but a little bit wider, a little bit more, like his back. He's got this big, strong back, and he's really muscular, strong legs. And he was bigger overall than I thought he was. And Jordan has been a great athlete. And those guys, when you look at him, Abdu, and JJ, these are athletic guys. And, Mika, what is Mika? Is that 7 foot?
6'11", 7 foot, something like that.
Yeah, he looked to me like he would probably be, bare feet. You don't play bare feet. You got shoes on, but I believe the human body is your body without shoes on. I'm a believer in that. I would say with shoes off, he's probably 6'11", maybe 6'10 and a half with his shoes off. So, he's pushing 7 foot when he puts the shoes on. I didn't measure him just by looking at him though. But Cooper has got a good frame. He was a little bit thicker than I thought he was going to be. Paulo is missed a lot of the January, February, March practices. He's still pretty skinny, but he's a legit 7-footer. He's a 7-foot guy, barefoot. And so there is some height, there is some size there. And, they just have to kind of come together as a team now. And they've got to learn each other's games. They got to develop together. Hey, this time of year, June, July, August, it's important. And it's not March, but it's a very important time for a basketball team. And there's some schools have an old school mentality, and they don't put as much emphasis in the summers. There are other schools out there that are working, that they bring their kids in too, and they're working their kids out, and they're practicing. So you got to keep up, and summer's critical.
This team is built to score, and we know that there are plenty of players that can score on this roster and like to have the ball in their hands. But from a defensive standpoint, who are some of those players that stand out that you feel like may be good defenders?
Some of the guys that are on this team that are good defenders?
The ones that maybe stand out to you.
Yeah, definitely Jordan. And, Jordan's an excellent defender, and he just knows how to use angles. He knows how to slide. He knows how to use his chest, how to use his strength. JJ is going to be a tremendous defensive player. Billy Richmond, we already know what he is. Cooper, he's not like a low post banger from what I've seen, but he tries to block shots. He uses his length. He's got a good bounce to him. He's going to have to be good now. I mean, Providence is a good basketball program. This is a step up in class, and as of right now, I look at it, he would be a very important key part of this team based on what we have. Cooper's going to have to be good. He needs to have a great summer of development. But, Jeremiah, I saw him. Darius didn't have a great offensive game at Georgia. And one of the reasons was, they had Blue Kane, they had Jeremiah Wilkinson, they had some guys that guarded out there pretty good. The Wilkins kid, and, I think Jeremiah has been taught defense, and he's an Atlanta kid. He fights on defense. This team, I'm not trying to compare them to last year, but I do think that this team has a chance to be a little bit more, got an edge to them. They got a little toughness. Now, they're young guys, so can they have that competitive fight in February and March? We'll see. But right now, these are good-looking, strong, big shoulders. These are good-looking guys.
Coach, I'm curious, what were your thoughts when you saw Elmer Joffich sign with UConn?
Well, Elmer's a really nice kid. I would say I would have been shocked, but I'd heard a couple of weeks ago that through the grapevine of college basketball that UConn was recruiting him and looking at him. Now, you never know. Are they trying to get a 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th man? In Arkansas, we talk about this. We play 8. Some years, last year we played 9. This past season we played 8. And we had 15 on the team. And so every coach uses that number that they're not in their rotation differently. Noah Richardson used those guys. Well, he's going to play about 11, but he was going to use 12 through 15 guys. That had to be an important part of practice drills, an important part of scrimmaging, and they had a role on the team. Cal does his differently, and Elmer just never really got to do much here, other than the Alabama game where he played. It was 2 overtimes. We had guys fouling out. He was not a factor in any real game, so we never really had an opportunity. He's huge, so I'm sure that maybe an overseas agent, they deal with a lot of these players. They probably know people at UConn, and they were probably like, hey, we've got this guy, and he's been at Arkansas, and he spent a year practicing and trying to get better. And, oh, by the way, he's about 7 foot. I'd say Elmer's at least 6'11", bare feet. He is a big dude, and we talked about this last year. When he got here from Bosnia and Herzegovina, he weighed 286 pounds. I was there today when they weighed him. Dave Richardson on the strength was 286, coach. And I was like, that's a big, big guy. And so I'm sure UConn fell in love with that size. I don't know if their thought is he's going to be number 11 through 15. We need him for practice. We need a big body. Or they may be in a bind. And they're like, this kid's huge. We're going to give him a chance. So he's got a ways to go. He doesn't have a real high skill level at all.
My last question, we know they may be adding somebody from the portal. How much does it hurt them that they're getting to campus later than everybody else?
As far as other schools getting their guys on, or just getting here later than our other players?
Yeah, getting there later. Like, the deadline for the Europeans to pull out of the NBA draft is a week from tomorrow, I believe. And so maybe waiting on one of those guys, or maybe waiting for somebody to get an extra year of eligibility, and it finally happens from the NCAA. Then they join everybody else later.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a huge setback?
Yeah, it's not a huge setback. No, I mean, it was great that Darius was here Memorial Day weekend last year, like you're supposed to be. But Darius would have had a phenomenal year if he rolled in here in August. But he's such an incredible talent. But for the average kid coming in, I think the summer is very important. We're going to have practices all summer. You got basketball camps. You got togetherness. You got times they do stuff. The University of Arkansas right now is very quiet. I mean, half of our streets are closed down for construction. You can't even drive down Maple Street. And so it's a quiet time, and that's when you bond with your teammates and you get your butt in that gym and you go to work and you get better. If you don't shoot free throws very well, then summer's where you make yourself a better free throw shooter. It's where you get stronger. It's where you work on your agilities. You spend hours and hours shooting and honing your game. If you're not here doing that, you fall behind. You know what? Carter Knox had that great freshman year. I thought it was a very, very good freshman year. He was trying to get in the draft. He was doing all that. He wasn't getting the feedback. He's going to come back, remember. And then all those guys were here Memorial Day. He just came in a couple of weeks later. But when he came back, he didn't look like he was quite as sharp as the Carter that we'd seen the previous year. And then it seemed like he was taking most of the summer to kind of catch back up and get back right. And then in August, unless you go on a foreign tour in August, they go home they went home for about 3 weeks, 3 or 4 weeks, and they come back, and it just never felt like he caught up completely. And then he didn't have the season that he'd had the year before. Was it because of the summer? Probably not. But I think that looking back on, he missed a little bit at the beginning of the summer, and it seemed like he was always trying to play catch up. So yeah, Wes, definitely. You'd like that perfect world. You got all 15 of your kids here Memorial Day weekend, and they all are here all summer working.
Are the other guys that are on scholarship that never got to play? Are they there? Are they back?
That is a good question, and it is. Yeah, some of them are. Those guys that didn't get out of that rotation last year were Jaden Carletts. Well, remember Jaden? He played in a couple of games, especially the year before last. Jaden's not with us anymore. And then you had Malik Thomas, his best friend in the world. We've had him do a lot of media stuff. Amir Brown.
Yeah.
Amir's been here. And then you had last year we had Aiden Kelly, whose dad played for Coach at Memphis. As far as I know, Aiden's back. And then we had Elmir Jopic. He's gone. Kareem Rattel, he is gone. So there are definitely some of them that aren't back. They either went in the portal or they're just kind of the time was up for them here. So to answer your question, most of those guys are gone with the exception of Amir Brown and Aiden Kelly.
Okay. Coach, good stuff. Learned a lot. Thank you, man. It was good to catch up with you.
You're welcome. Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on. I wish we were talking baseball and softball, but it is what it is, and baseball will bounce back and get back to what we like seeing, and it looks like softball's is on its way, so we'll keep the faith.
Coach, talk to you next week.
Okay, guys. Bye.
Matt Zimmerman on Out of Bounds. Coming up next, Kyle Sutherland will join us. Talk softball, look ahead for the Razorbacks.
Listen for Champs and Chumps on Fridays during The Zone. Brought to you by Washita Bar and Grill on Central Avenue in Hot Springs and BKC Home Builders, building premier homes in Hot Springs.
This is SportsCenter.
NFL trades and signings dominated the news yesterday. Headlined by the trade of last year's Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, to the Los Angeles Rams from the Cleveland Browns. In return, the Browns will get pass rusher Jared Verse, a two-time Pro Bowler, along with multiple draft picks, including next year's first-round pick from the Rams. The New England Patriots also finalized their trade for wide receiver A.J. Brown. The Eagles received 2 future picks for Brown, while the New York Giants announced the return of wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. In other national sports, it's finals week. Game 1 of the NHL Finals is tonight between the Vegas Golden Knights and Carolina Hurricanes. Puck drops at 7 on ABC. And we know we'll have a new champion in the NBA as well after the San Antonio Spurs took care of the Oklahoma City Thunder this weekend in 7. They start their run for a 6th NBA championship as a franchise tomorrow night, where they'll face the New York Knicks looking for their first championship in 53 years. I'm Moose for the Buzz Radio Network.
On your way to the Little Rock Airport, business travelers park fast at Expressway Airport parking. As you park, our shuttle picks you up, and a 60-second ride later, you're at the airport. Download our app and earn rewards. Simply scan the virtual gate pass to enter and scan again to exit. No waiting, and your receipt is emailed to you. Pay less than municipal airport parking at Expressway Airport parking, left of the airport entrance, next to the Comfort Inn.
You can't always see what's in the air, but dust, allergens, contaminants, even mold could be affecting your health. Learn about air quality testing at rainbowrestores.com. When the unthinkable happens, damage from smoke, water, fire, mold, or just poor air quality, let Rainbow Restoration fix your home or business. With their 24/7 rapid response, you'll get your life back on track fast. RainbowRestores.com. Rainbow Restoration. They restore, you recover. Services performed by an independently owned and operated franchise.
This is the Pigskin Preacher, bringing you the word. The recent death of Ted Turner reminds us of the outsized influence the mouth of the South had on America and the world. Turner essentially invented 24-hour news, owned the Atlanta Braves and Hawks, and became one of the biggest landowners and conservationists in U.S. history. He also married Jane Fonda, which inspired the late Louis Grizzard's great line, "Who introduced these two? Ho Chi Minh?" The next time you feel snowed under by the endless news loop, raise a glass to Captain Courageous. Double B's has 34 locations across Arkansas with friendly folks, ATMs for your convenience, and a dazzling array of delectable noshes and drinks. That's because Double B's is where you gas it, grab it, and go. That's Double B's.
Cabot Outdoors has your Get Ready to Save Big during the Hustler Spring Sales event through May 31st. Save up to $350 off the Raptor Series and up to $550 off the Fast Track Series zero-turn mowers at participating Hustler dealers. Hustler's engineered and tested for long-lasting performance designed to keep you mowing season after season. Visit CabotOutdoors.com. Shop the Hustler Spring Sales event today. Offer valid 4/15/26 through 5/31/26 or while quantities last. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Arkansas sports fans, get ready to tee it up with the legends. The annual Arkansas Sports Hall of Fame Celebrity Golf Tournament is set for June 8th at Chenal Country Club. Grab your team for a 4-man scramble and get paired with a celebrity for a day of golf, stories, and unforgettable moments. It's your chance to play along the names you've cheered for. Spots are limited, so sign up now at arksportshalloffame.com, arksportshalloffame.com, or call 501-313-4158.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios. Online at TruService.net.
Take the party wherever we go.
Welcome back. SEC doing well in the college baseball tournament. 7 teams, a record 7 teams, make it to the Super Regionals. Close to having had a chance for 10. Kentucky lost to West Virginia yesterday. Florida lost to Troy. And A&M lost to USC. Still a good first weekend for the SEC. Oklahoma beating Georgia Tech really hurts. Knowing that if Arkansas would have taken care of business in that second game against Kansas and been in the driver's seat and got a great performance from Hunter Dietz, had a chance to win that regional and be hosting this weekend. That's a bummer. Joe, we need Kyle. Over on the Middleton Heat and Air text line. Let's see here. Has Carter found another college team? Yeah, Carter Knox did. He signed with Louisville. That was part of that big class. Louisville had a big signing class, a big portal class. They went out and spent a lot of money, and Louisville's going to be a good team. I expect Carter. I was a big Carter Knox fan. I think he's going to have a good year for Louisville. Always liked him. 501 says, I think you see a little bit in football, but we're seeing it more in baseball in the era of NIL. Since there's not a ton of money going around for baseball, you end up with a lot of hungry guys going to mid-major D1 and playing with a chip on their shoulder to prove that somebody missed on them. I think the kids at Troy, UALR, Milwaukee, etc. are playing like they have something to prove. I agree with that. Little Rock's got a older, experienced team using the experience in Baton Rouge last season, then added some really key pieces, whether it was JUCO or portal. We talked about Gage Haley from Mississippi State. Tag Andrews coming from Arkansas. Cade Smith was Arkansas, then Harding. I mean, those are 3 big pieces that they added from the portal, and they were able to retain their guys, keep them from going somewhere else. That was huge for Chris Curry and the staff. Let's bring in Kyle Sutherland. He joins us now. What's up, Kyle? How are you?
What's up, guys? Doing well. Just tracking this baseball portal constantly. How are you? How are y'all doing?
Yeah, baseball, softball portal. It's going to be big for both Arkansas teams.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Yeah, tracking the softball hasn't picked up super hard. It's still about another week before it opens. But, yeah, it definitely Arkansas had its first entry as of the last hour. Ava Carter, of course, the Greene County Tech alumna, she announced, was a backup center fielder. And did hear that was coming. Heard of a few others as well. Of course, I'll let them announced. But, yeah, there will be, obviously, just like there is every year, some moving out and some coming in. And I think, really, to me, obviously baseball last year was extremely important because they were coming off that deep World Series run, and it's crucial, as Dave said, they're going to hit it hard this time around. But to me, for softball, this is the most important portal cycle that they've had since it really came about. Last year, they've got 2 big hits, literally and figuratively, in Dakota Kennedy and Tiana Bell, and that's all they really needed because they had so much production returning. Not the case this year. You've got a lot of outgoing seniors who have done a ton for you, so it's going to be extra crucial.
How many of those seniors, and how much do you expect this roster to turn over altogether?
Man, Joe, the thing is, so you've got 8, I think it's 8 that are graduating that have exhausted their eligibility off the top of my head. And then also I did confirm to the university that Kennedy Miller, who has caught and played DH over the past 3 years, she is actually foregoing her senior season to pursue a master's degree. So she's just not going to play her senior year, go a different path. That's the only one that I have confirmed. But Talia Rijo, the stud shortstop, I know she's got an extra year of availability or eligibility, but they don't. When I asked the university, they don't have really anything either way. They just said that it looks like she's still making her decision and hasn't announced anything yet. So on top of what you do lose, I mean, all the seniors that have exhausted their eligibility were key players. You look at Robin Heron, Carly Davison, Reagan Johnson, Kaylee Wyckoff, Dakota Kennedy, Tiana Bell, you just go down the line. So last year they brought back, I think it was 7 everyday starters. Now you've got to replace just about all of them. If Talia Rijo comes back, that's going to be huge because you'll get Ella McDowell at third back and you'll get her at shortstop. And, of course, you get Brindley Bain, the superstar freshman, and 2 of your top arms as well. So I would say they really need to look for a lefty in the portal, maybe Madison Azua from Texas State. They've seen her a couple of times. She's been a superstar in the Sun Belt. Tori Edwards is a first baseman that has been really good for she from LSU. She didn't really have a great year this season, but she was a All-American through multiple outlets last year, and also was the SEC Player of the Year or Freshman of the Year a couple of years ago. So the talent is there with Tori Edwards. Very extreme talent. I think she just needs a fresh start, and maybe somewhere like Arkansas could be the ticket for her to really get back what she's shown in the past.
We have Kyle Sutherland with us. Kyle, is there anyone on the team that was like a backup that you feel like is promising and could step into a starter role?
I think the first place you look at, Wes, is probably the outfield, just because you're losing. So, I mean, this year they had as experience with Kaylee Wyckoff, at least before Dakota Kennedy's injury, with Reagan Johnson, Dakota Kennedy, and Kaylee Wyckoff. I mean, you had as experienced and decorated as an outfield as anybody in the country. And so I think you look probably first at like a Ramsey Walker, came from a very prestigious school, Calvary Baptist in Shreveport, and we saw some good things out of her. She hit a few home runs, and the thing is, she just doesn't have a ton of experience. So maybe if she steps up, I know Courtney had talked about true freshman this year, Kamari Hall, before she went down with a season-ending ACL injury, and I guess it was in the fall, but she didn't play at all this year. Maybe if she gets it, back like to where she was last year during the fall, maybe she could contribute. But I think that you've got maybe one or two. Kyler Del Duca is another one that got some time defensively when Dakota was hurt. So I think you've got some out there that can step up, but they're going to definitely, I would say at minimum, have to get two outfielders out of the portal. That might be one where you look at three. And again, I don't have any intel on that. That's brand new right now, but that's just kind of putting the math together of what they will have next year. I would say at minimum two you've got to get that are experienced out of the portal.
So you mentioned outfielders there. Kind of go around the diamond of some of the positions that need to be replaced.
So catcher, I feel like, catcher, since Kennedy's not going to be back there and Brindley Bain, I feel like you can probably keep at right field. And that's just, because she did play pretty well, just regardless of where she was at. But you've also got a stud freshman in Ava Hodo coming in. So in Alabama, Ava and Katie King are two for 2026 that are coming in. They played for Orange Beach. That's probably the national powerhouse over the past 5 years, I would say. And in Alabama, you can play varsity from 7th grade on, not like 9th grade to 12th grade as it is in Arkansas. So they've got 5 years of varsity experience. So Katie King could maybe play some of the infield, like second base. Ava Hodo, I would imagine if she plays as a freshman, it'll be behind the dish. First base, I feel like that's probably where you go portal, whether it's Tori Edwards or somebody else. I mean, you got Bree Ellis out of the portal. You've got Gianna Bell. So that's plenty of recruiting right there for them. In second base, replacing Carly Davison, I would say that's where you look at maybe a Macy Beaver Boaz coming in 2026. Now, she's coming off of a shoulder surgery, so has to knock off some rust there, but a massive bat. That's Carrie Beaver Boaz's daughter that was the first coach ever that started the program. And then, of course, you've got Natalia Rijo, hopefully back at shortstop, and Ella McDowell, who's going to make a case for maybe the top third baseman in the nation, at least defensively next year. She did drop off a little bit with her bat, but can certainly hit for power, and she's definitely going to return as one of the better players in the country, at least at the hot corner next year.
Because of their trip to the College World Series and finally breaking through, how attractive is Arkansas when you compare them to national programs for some of these, young women in the portal?
I think first and foremost, Wes, I've heard a lot of, and obviously these parents of recruits, they play together, they play against each other, so they talk. And one of the things that I have heard a lot within just talking to parents and just athletes is talking about how they love the coaching. They love the program of Arkansas, but they love this coaching staff. Obviously, Courtney Deifel has really, not just her success, but she's gained a lot of positive publicity as just a genuine human being. But then you think about her assistant, Matt Michael, who's been with her all but her first year. Matt Michael has the resume to be a head coach just about anywhere. And then DJ Gasso, some would consider as maybe the best hitting coach in the country. I think you look at what he's done in 3 years at Arkansas, and probably some of those facts or some of those statistics would back up those claims from people. So I think that you just look at the coaching staff first and foremost and look at what they've built and how genuine a human beings they are. They just have such a good reputation both on the field and off of it. And now it's been like, okay, well, when Courtney Deifel got here, this program had back-to-back 1-23 conference finishes. And now that's all they needed to do. They've been to multiple super regionals. They've hosted multiple super regionals. Now they just needed to get to OKC, and that was the biggest question when I talked with you guys last week. There's not really, when they're at their best, there's not a lot of questions about this team, but can they shine on the big stage? I don't really look at the UCLA performance as judging them whether or not they can perform on the big stage. I look at the Nebraska game, and that just, not to make excuses, but I think that took a lot of wind out of their sails. So the fact that they were able to go in there and compete right off the bat and be right there on the verge of winning their first ever Women's College World Series game, I think it's just that much more attractive to recruits, whether it's high school or the portal.
You mentioned a couple of the freshmen coming in from Orange Beach. How was the freshman signing class? Was it a good one? Is there some really good players that are expected to play?
Yeah, I think that there will be, of course, Skylar Sterrett from Sheridan, who is the all-time base stealer. I think she got like over 200 in her career. Had a great career, 4-year career for Sheridan there. She's one of them. As I said, Macy Deaver-Boaz, as good of a pedigree as she'll come from, and she can, like I said, she can play middle outfield or catch, but has a massive bat, really good hitter. But I would say probably, just because I would probably put Macy in this category if she wasn't coming off surgery. But Ava Hodo and Katie King, the Orange Beach teammates, that's probably, I think they've won like 5 or 6 state championships in a row, and I'm not exaggerating. It's either 5 or 6. And like I said, those two have played for varsity and been heavy contributors for varsity since junior high. So if I had to guess, Katie and Ava would probably be the first two that maybe would get the most playing time, start with opening day. The other one's Mia Johnson. She's from Georgia. Georgia plays fall ball in high school. So we haven't really seen her since during football season. She batted like 450 or something. So maybe she can come in and get a look in the outfield as well. But off the top of my head, just as we sit here in early June, I would say Ava and Ava Hodo and Katie King have the best chance of playing at least early for softball next year.
Last 2 teams standing Women's College World Series. Who do you like? Texas Tech.
Man, so Jolie Mitchell's a good friend of mine that played for, from Rosebud, played for Texas last year. We do some work together and stuff. So I know that people are going to kill me for saying this, but I love Mike White. I love their coach. I like a lot of their players. So I'm going to go with Texas. I think that they're so good with it. And Texas Tech has been too, obviously, but Texas is so good with their backs up against the wall, as we've seen. It's like when they play in elimination games, that's when they're at their best. So I'm going to go with them. I love Jerry Glasgow at Texas Tech. I know they've kind of become the villain this year, and he has embraced that role, as he has said on the record. But love Jerry Glasgow. Love the route he took to get to where he is now. But I'm going to probably go with the Longhorns. I think they take back-to-back.
Kyle, thanks, man. We appreciate it. Great update.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. Appreciate y'all.
It's Kyle Sutherland joining us on Out of Bounds. We'll take our final break of the second hour. We'll come back and wrap it up. 661-1037 if you'd like to join us. This is Out of Bounds.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 501-600-2763. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 501-600-2763. That's 501-600-2763.
Oaklawn is here for when you want the ultimate escape, all in one place. Check into the luxury hotel. Escape to Astral Spa, the only Forbes 4-star rated spa in Arkansas. Indulge at award-winning restaurants like the Bugler or the Oak Room and Bar, all before having the time of your life at the 24/7 smoke-free casino, where the energy goes all night. Here, excitement and luxury meet under one roof. Oaklawn Hot Springs. Join the fun. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Around here, reputation matters. That's why homeowners and business owners turn to the professionals at CertaPro Painters for their painting projects. From detailed residential painting to professionally managed commercial projects, our crews deliver craftsmanship that protects your investment and enhances curb appeal. Spring weather won't last forever, and neither will the open slots on the schedule. If painting is on your list this year, now's the time. Call CertaPro Painters or visit CertaPro.com and reserve your spring project today. That's Certa with a C. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy.
Join the zone each Monday for game balls and jock straps. Brought to you by a Caddy's Touch Landscaping. Find out who made the best, average, and worst headlines in sports and entertainment each Monday. Justin gives you his game balls and jock straps on the zone from 10 till 1. Brought to you by a Caddy's Touch Landscaping. 501-794-2770. Call today and get your landscape updated to a whole new level. And be listening for game balls and jock straps only on 103.7 The Buzz.
Ever wonder what bugs do when you're not looking? With Bugtopia at the Little Rock Zoo, the world beneath your feet gets big. Like really big. Meet the bugs that pollinate, build, and buzz our planet to life, up close and larger than ever. Bugtopia, crawling into the Little Rock Zoo March 21st through September 20th. It's wonder magnified and included with your zoo admission. Learn more at littlerockzoo.com.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios.
Welcome back to Out of Bounds. He's Joe Franklin. I'm Wes Moore. Thank you for being with us. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. Just saw this tweet. This is awesome. So the Trojans are doing a press conference for all the media in town before they leave tomorrow afternoon for Troy. Coach Curry said last week at the regionals, I got up here to start the weekend. I said, no, we're not dangerous. We're lethal. Now he says, we're super lethal.
Like it.
Yeah, that's awesome. We'll try to have more on the Trojans throughout the week. First game Friday against Troy, 4 o'clock start. Still figuring out where we're going to have the game broadcast. Last check. Mike's in Fairfield Bay. What's up, Mike?
Go Trojans.
Yes, sir.
No, I'm so proud of them. Dude, I really am. But my question is about this Mike Irwin thing that he said about Van Horn not getting the funds that he needs. Arguably the most incredible coach we've ever had on the Hill. I mean, that's just a given. So, Wes, with your connections, Joe, with who you know, is what he's saying true? And if it is, this is not right, guys. He ought to be given whatever he wants. I would love to hear y'all's conversation about this and tell me that I'm wrong or right. I don't know that. I respect Mike. I really do. He's not ever done anything that's really been off the board for me. But I'm just curious what y'all think. Okay, guys, I'll hang up. Thanks.
Thanks, Mike. All right. Every coach at the University of Arkansas is pitching to Hunter Yurchek. They need more money. Every single coach wants more revenue-sharing money. They want a bigger piece of the pie for their program. It's just like every business. You know, the marketing person is in there talking to the GM saying, hey, we need more money for marketing, or whatever department. They always want more money. And that's the same for baseball. And it's even a tighter budget. You think about the rev sharing. Now with football, and we've talked about this in the past, football didn't get as much of the pie that other teams were getting, like in Ole Miss. Let's say at Ole Miss, they were dedicating more for football and probably a little less for basketball, and baseball would get a little bit. But the argument is your top program that has the potential to make the most money for your university wasn't getting as big of a piece of the pie as other SEC schools. So Hunter Yurchek has changed it, and football is going to get more money. The hope is, and they better do it, produce results, get wins, create excitement, generate more money for the university, for the football program, for the athletic department. And so, yes, I am sure that Coach Van Horn, Coach Deifel, golf coach, tennis coach, every coach is going, I need more of that revenue sharing. If you want me to compete at the top of the SEC, track and field, I need more of the revenue sharing. And so when you don't get it, then you have to go out and create some NIL opportunities for your guys so that you can entice some of these players. I know, and I've heard this, that Coach Van Horn would like more of that revenue sharing money. But I feel like the budget has been trimmed a little bit, and now football is getting a little bit more. And so that's where you go to the outside, try to raise some money, legitimate ways. That, you know, the clearinghouse then you go through the clearinghouse and get that NIL deal approved. But that's what not only Coach Van Horn. I was told this by some of my friends, acquaintances down in Baton Rouge, that Jay Johnson's not happy at all with his revenue sharing money. And this is LSU.
That's what happens when there's a losing season.
That's what happens when Lane Kiffin comes in, and you got football, and they're getting a bigger piece of the pie, at least at LSU, right? They didn't have to worry about basketball. Well, until now, and here comes Will Wade, and there's an emphasis on them. They want to start winning in basketball. So it's a battle, to answer your question honestly. But every single coach is having to try to get in there and fight for as much revenue-sharing money as they can, and then go outside, get some NIL money. I hope that answers your question. Coming up next, hour number 3, we've got what's trending and then more time to take your calls. This is Out of Bounds.
FanDuel, in partnership with Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort, is now available in Arkansas. FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. FanDuel in Arkansas has you covered. From spreads to player points to threes and more, build it all into one same-game parlay and go for bigger payouts. So if you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, bet them on FanDuel. FanDuel in partnership with Oaklawn Racing Casino Resort. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. Head to FanDuel.com/Arkansas to get started. FanDuel, 21 plus and present in Arkansas. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
John Daly joins the mayhem Tuesday mornings, courtesy of Honda of Russellville, Arkansas's #1 Honda dealership. From Goldwing trikes to side-by-sides, Honda of Russellville has an inventory no one else has. Check it out at HondaofRussellville.com.
Get your popcorn ready. We've got the entertainment right here on 103.7 The Buzz, KABZ Little Rock.
The reward to find the suspects in a Little Rock post office burglary has been increased to $1,000. Investigators say 2 women stole personal business checks and other mail from the Asher station on May 17th. If you have any information about where these women are, please call the Little Rock Police Department. And the FAA is investigating a small plane crash near Sheridan. Sheridan volunteer fire crews were called to the site Sunday afternoon. Sheridan Municipal Airport officials believe the plane lost power, causing it to crash along Highway 270. 2 men were on board, but did not have any serious injuries. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm Kara Case, Jessica Rockwell.
This is Trey Reed inviting you to join Mark Hedrick and me Tuesday nights at 7 for The Wild Side.
Brought to you by Edwards Food Giant, Trader Bill's Outdoors, Battery Outfitters, Tammy Chase Insurance, Crane Chevrolet, and Flyway Brewing.
Weather from the Fletcher Weather Center with KARK's Pat Walker.
It's going to be a partly cloudy Tuesday with just a slight chance of a shower in the middle of the day. Plus, as a cool front moves through, we'll see the winds getting a little breezy from the middle of the day through the afternoon. It'll be a northeast wind of 10 to 20 with a high of 86 today. The night, partly cloudy and cooler with a low of 62. For the Buzz Radio Network, I'm meteorologist Pat Walker.
New Benihana promotion, Monday and Tuesday, lunch and dinner. 10% off of everything on the menu.
come to Benihana's.
Get in the conversation with Life and Feedback at 1037thebuzz.com. Presented on Out of Bounds by Arkansas Best Chevy Dealers. Chevy Colorado eats up the road with 5 available gears, and Silverado has the muscle to tow. Life and Feedback from Arkansas Best Chevy Dealers. Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hey folks, this is Mitch Ward, proudly serving the great state of Arkansas with Red River Auto Group for over 20 years. We started as Arkansas's #1 Ram, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep dealer, but we've also got Ford and Toyota. And I like to think we've got the largest discounts than anybody in the state. But folks, really, if you bring us any reasonable deal right now, we're going to try to put something together. If that means us giving a little too much for your trade or selling ours or just a little too cheap or fighting for the best rate, we're going to make it happen. Check us out at redriverauto.com.
This is the Pigskin Preacher, bringing you the word. The recent death of Ted Turner reminds us of the outsized influence the mouth of the South had on America and the world. Turner essentially invented 24-hour news, owned the Atlanta Braves and Hawks, and became one of the biggest landowners and conservationists in U.S. history. He also married Jane Fonda, which inspired the late Louis Grizzard's great line, "Who introduced these two? Ho Chi Minh?" The next time you feel snowed under by the endless news loop, raise a glass to Captain Courageous. Doublebee's has 34 locations across Arkansas with friendly folks, ATMs for your convenience, and a dazzling array of delectable noshes and drinks. That's because Doublebee's is where you gas it, grab it, and go. That's Doublebee's.
In Arkansas, cancers of the lung, breast, prostate, and colon are the leading cause of cancer deaths. Yet simple screenings can save lives, helping doctors find and treat cancer early. If you have a family history of cancer, you need to start screenings even earlier because cancer screenings can never come too soon, only too late. To learn more, visit cancer.uams.edu. Sponsored by this station, the Arkansas Broadcasters Association, and UAMS.
There's nothing better than calling the Hogs with your fellow Razorback fans. Now's the time to start making lasting family memories with the Hogs by joining the Razorback Foundation. Annual memberships start as low as $50 per year. The financial support provided by Razorback Foundation members makes a once-in-a-lifetime experience possible for more than 465 student athletes. Your gifts provide scholarships, academic support, training in nutrition, as well as professional and personal development assistance. Razorback Foundation members earn access to season tickets, priority seating and parking, tailgating, invitations to exclusive coaches and player events, as well as discounts to local restaurants and Hog Heaven stores. Your support will help the Razorbacks continue the path of success and bring home even more SEC and national championships. Text JOIN to 479-349-4313 or visit RazorbackFoundation.com for more information. That's JOIN to 479-349-4313. Can't wait to see you on the Hill. Go Hogs!
The NFL schedule dropped, and it's time to settle up. There's road trips to plan, hotels to book, tickets to split, tailgates to cover, scores to settle, all the things for the season. But now, when you send $10 or more to a friend with PayPal by May 28th, you could win 2 tickets to every home game of your favorite team. Yep, the whole season. Visit paypal.com/P2P sweeps. No purchase necessary. See website for details, including how to enter by mail. Brought to you by PayPal, official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL.
Your summer starts now with Memorial Day deals at the Home Depot. It's time to fire up summer cookouts with the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill on special buy for only $199. And entertain all season with the Hampton Bay West Grove 7-piece outdoor dining set for only $499. This Memorial Day, get low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. While supplies last, pricing valid May 14th through May 27th. U.S. only, exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios, this is Out of Bounds with Wes Moore and Joe Franklin on 103.7 The Buzz.
But now I'm counting this. Parmesan with my accountant lips. In fact, I'm down in this. You say with my boo babe tastes like Kool-Aid for the analyst. Girl, I can buy your Westie world with my base stuff. I know that it's good. Won't you sit it on my taste buds? I get way too busy once you let me do the extras. Pull up on your block and break it down. We playing Tetris. AM to the PM, PM to the AM phone. Eat up your per diem. the season, I still be the greatest funk. My left stroke just went viral.
What's trending in the world of sports is sponsored by Arkansas-based West Rock Coffee. Join West Rock Coffee and their 1.5 million coffee farmers around the globe as they fuel Arkansas with great tasting coffee, tea, and water delivered directly to your business. Contact them at westrockcoffee.com or 833-886-JAVA today.
NBA Finals start tomorrow, but tonight we have the Stanley Cup Finals. Vegas, Carolina.
Been looking forward to this. Actually was looking around for it last night and then realized, it doesn't start tonight. It's Tuesday. Got to wait another day, another night.
We'll start with the Carolina Hurricanes head coach.
First off, everything's different because of all the distractions. And all of a sudden, everybody that you ever thought you knew was coming out of the woodwork, and everybody's your friend now and trying to get to the game. And there's a million things that are it's all different. So you got to handle that. So that's a big thing, the distractions. But at the end of the day, both teams are going to play their game. That doesn't change. When the puck drops, it's okay. We've gone through the pre-scout. We know what they're doing. They know what we're doing. And now it's just who's going to do it better. And you have to block everything else out and just realize it's the game. So we played the same as this first game of the season. The stakes weren't the same, but there's nothing else you can do. So I think it's comforting to know that it doesn't take more. You know what I mean? We don't have to be suddenly something you're not. Just go play and trust that that's what got us here. That's what's going to, hopefully get us over the hump. But that's really what we're trying to, push on the guys.
I quickly glanced at our board. I thought it said John Travolta on Vegas. And I was like, John Travolta's a big Vegas fan.
That's funny.
John Tortorella, their head coach.
Starting on the road, I don't care what building we play in. I think the most important part of playoff hockey is trying to get better as the series goes on. I think that, and it doesn't matter what building you're playing in. And this isn't way back in the day when there was situations in buildings that there might have been a little bit of intimidation or whatever. It's just not that way in our game anymore. So I don't put too much stock into any building we're playing in. From a coaching point of view, I'm just looking, when we break down the tape after game one, what do we need to be better at and try to get better at things. And as the series goes on, I think that's the most important point.
That could be a little bulletin board material for the Carolina fans. No arena is intimidating. Step it up a little bit, Carolina fans.
I don't think he's even worried about the fans there. He's just talking about the team being ready to go no matter where they're playing.
Surely there's home ice advantage somewhere. These fans are rowdy. Now, I have seen a lot of the Vegas highlights. Seems like they have a really good crowd. And
they both do. Carolina, for sure, has one of the better crowds and fan environments throughout NHL. But they're all pretty rowdy, though.
Now to Major League Baseball. Brewers, Giants.
Line drive down the right field line. That is going to be a fair ball into the corner. 1 run's in. 2 runs are in. Ground ball right side through base hit. 2 runs will score.
Brewers beat the Giants 16-2. Saw over the weekend. Maybe it was last weekend. But it's here recently. It was a pretty harsh story on Tony Vitello and his struggles as a rookie manager, jumping from college baseball to the major leagues and questioning some of his decisions. And looks like the honeymoon is already over for Tony Vitello.
They expected that there would be some struggles, but at the same time, the success that he's had, they expect to come in and win. And that's kind of where you'll see some of that back and forth. But I mean, the way that they signed him and what they signed him to, they have to give him some time. That's the only way it's going to work.
was a rookie they called up, top prospect. And he played a little bit, like right when he was called up. And now he's not playing every day. They were like, what are we doing? Why would you call him up and sit him on the bench? If he needs to be developed, send him back to AAA and let him play. Vitello's got him, play him. Anyway, I thought that was kind of harsh this early, already jumping on Tony Vitello. We'll move on to the Tigers and the Rays.
That ball's cranked high in the air, left center field. Dylan Dingler demolishes this baseball. It is 4-0. That is way out of here. 1-1 to Dingler. Does he have more in store? Right center and out of here. Dylan Dingler's second home run in as many at-bats.
Ring-a-ding-a-dingler. Tigers beat the Rays 10-9. Rangers, Cardinals.
3-2. Swinging a jam shot at the middle base hit. Jansen scores. Lopez was on the move. He takes a turnaround third, but stops. Jock Peterson delivers with an RBI knock, and the Rangers lead 2-0.
That was it for the Rangers. Left some guys late in the game. Could have gotten a bigger lead, some insurance runs, but they held on to win 2-1. Now we go to the Rockies and Angels.
And this ball's tagged to right center field. How much did he get? Did he get enough? You bet he did. Home run number 4 for Jake McCarthy. This ball crushed deep left field. Take a good look. You won't see it for long. 3-run home run. Hunter Goodman. And the Rockies are back on top.
Rockies beat the Angels last night 9-8. Another over for the Rockies. I didn't bet it last night. There for a while. I mean, it was hitting 4 out of 5 over on the Rockies. Then they went through a little, it was like 50-50, and the line was adjusted, went from the typical 9.5, was going up to 10.5, and I stayed away from it. And every time now I see a over, I'm like, dang, should have jumped on it. But I don't pay attention when it's under, so maybe it's still hitting under some. Mariners, Mets, they went extra innings.
High fly, right field, back and gone! Game-tying 7th inning home run, Josh Naylor. Broken bat, dropping, base hit, they've done it again! This time, Cole Young, walk-off win once more for the Mariners!
3-2, your final. Mariners over the Mets in 10. Go to the big trade yesterday. We talked about it. Myles Garrett going to the Rams. Saw one of the NFL analysts tweeting out, the Rams now have 2 closers. Matthew Stafford, he's your closer on offense. You need a closer on defense. Myles Garrett is one of those type of guys. Team driving, trying to win the game late, gets a key sack, game over. Feels like every team needs 2 closers, one on offense, one on defense, and now they have that for the Rams. Here's Pat McAfee.
Myles Garrett has been traded to the Los Angeles Rams.
Oh, wow. Not just smoke.
What?
Oh, my gosh. Jared Verse.
Wow. Just a couple years into his career, as he was an emerging superstar for the Los Angeles Rams, he will go to the Cleveland Browns. Los Angeles Rams, Les and McVay are not scared to make plays. I mean, this has been something that they've been a part of. They traded, obviously, for Matthew Stafford. They get him in here. They brought in Odell Beckham Jr. They bring in Devontae Adams. They're not scared to bring in stars and try to go ahead and win something and sell the appeal of Los Angeles. Verse was a young stud for that Los Angeles Rams team, and now they bring in the man who has the most sacks ever recorded in one NFL season. I love the move for the Rams. Obviously, the Browns have had to say publicly a couple of different times, we're not trading them. Mm-hmm. Now they have traded them, and it's June 1st, 2026.
Yeah, so that was instant reaction as they learned the news. Adam Schefter had just been on 20 minutes prior, and they asked specifically about Myles Garrett. Now, Adam Schefter may have been sitting on it at the time, but his answer was, Browns say that they're not willing to trade him. They're going to do everything they can to keep him. And then after that broke, then there's their reaction. They got Adam Schefter back on just to kind of break it all down. But also they got Peter Schrager on, which Peter Schrager is in the know with Rams and goings on there because he was in the know about Ty Simpson and their interests. And so Peter Schrager said that they've had conversations for a couple of weeks now. And June 1st was the date they targeted because now it works better for both sides.
Here's Ian Rappaport.
Los Angeles Rams were the team. They were the team. They were persistent. They reached out to the Cleveland Browns wanting to trade for Myles Garrett around the time when the Browns adjusted Myles Garrett's contract to move some bonuses up a little bit. The Browns said, no, he is not available. The Rams tried again after the draft and said, we want him. Here's more. Here's more. They said, no, he is not available. Okay, well, then they said, what if we included Jared Verse? Well, that was someone the Cleveland Browns have had eyes on for a long time. When Jared Verse was suddenly in the deal, the picks got moved around a little bit. It got to a point where the two teams said, you know what? This could actually happen. They're expected to agree in totality later today. Right now, they are finalizing this deal, this absolute stunner. Myles Garrett expected to be a member of the Los Angeles Rams, the one and only team to pursue him. Persistence pays off for less need for Sean McVay and company. Just an unbelievable day. Unbelievable.
Now, as far as trades, it's a big deal. It's a blockbuster trade, but that Luka trade opened eyes across all leagues that anybody can be traded at any time. And so when you see trades like this, they're not as surprising anymore.
Appreciate that, Joe. Glad you brought that up. Here's Adam Schefter on A.J. Brown.
A.J. Brown is being traded. It's going to be for a 2028 first-round pick. It's also going to be for a 2027 fifth-round pick. The Patriots have 2 fifth-round picks. It'll be for the better of those 2 particular picks at this point in time. It is now official. A.J. Brown is reuniting with Mike Vrabel in New England. The two have worked together before. They are going to work together again now. That trade is just coming down as we speak. A.J. Brown to the New England Patriots. My understanding is the two sides had not had any contact in recent weeks. There were conversations that occurred in March and April and an understanding that they would pick this up again after June 1st. And that's exactly what they wound up doing today, exchanging phone calls and coming to the agreement that will send a 2028 one to the Philadelphia Eagles for A.J. Brown, a 2027 fifth-round pick back to the Eagles as well. So the Eagles get 2 first-round picks. Now, here's the other interesting twist to all this, of course. At one point in time, the Los Angeles Rams were sniffing around an A.J. Brown trade, and they decided ultimately that they would be better off spreading their resources elsewhere, trading for Trent McDuffie, and now trading for Myles Garrett.
Rams, man, they're not messing around.
Oh, they're always trying to make moves. Rams, Eagles. It seems like those are the two teams that they'll do anything at any cost. And they have 2 of the better GMs across NFL, along with Snyder there for Seahawks. And we see that those are 3 teams that have won Super Bowls recently. Now, A.J. Brown has already been in front of the media as a New England Patriot. And he said, I was just talking to my mom and saying, I'm still in awe. Walking up the hill with a uniform, I was like, man, this is real. I caught myself at one point in practice. I wasn't paying attention because I was like, dang, just trying to take it all in as much as I can. He said that he's excited for the opportunity, and he didn't really want to get into details as far as Eagles. He said none of that matters. What's done is done. I'm here, moving forward.
Yeah, he's already worked out, went through OTA today. I saw a quote. He said, I know this isn't heaven, but it sure is close. Somebody, he did. He put out a picture on Instagram last night. It was him as a little kid in a Patriots uniform.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He said, I guess it was always meant to be.
Yeah.
I think he wears number 13.
Well, he has always been number 11.
11. He was wearing 12 in the uniform. It was like 1 digit off, I noticed. But pretty cool.
Obviously, yeah, and then back to familiar relationship with Mike Vrabel. And Diana Rossini told us long ago that this would happen. So her reporting was spot on.
Yeah, I wonder. I wonder if it's one of those they pretty much agreed on everything in March, April, whenever, and they were like, "All right, we'll call you on June 1st, and we'll finish this off." You gonna be there in the office?
Yeah, behind the scenes stuff like that happens, but officially they say that they hadn't talked in weeks and waited for this moment to make everything happen.
I got a timer on my phone set for June 1st at 8:30. I'll call you. We'll get this done. Finish up in the WNBA. This is Caitlin Clark, her interaction with the Fever's head coach, Stephanie White.
Two people being competitive, two people that really want to win. And, I think a lot of those things happen all the time, and I know there's a camera on me, and that's how it's going to be. But there's a lot of people out there in the media or on TV that they think they know a lot of things, and they're just blatantly wrong about a lot of things. And I ride for Steph. I ride for these girls. Steph has my back more than anybody. So, nobody in that locker room, in our locker room, or Steph or our coaching staff thought twice about it. It's just another example of what everybody, all of you, want to blow up and make something that is just lost and not in reality.
I mean, how would you describe your relationship with Steph?
It's great. There's nobody, when I got hurt at the Connecticut game last year, I bawled in Steph's arms. That's somebody I will ride for the rest of my life. Those are the moments that people behind, people don't see that. People that just sit on their phones all day, they don't see those moments.
So she was answering questions behind a video that surfaced during a blowout loss where she had one of her worst performances, scored, I think, 6 points, had a terrible game shooting, and the coach is in the huddle, and she's going through, some plays, and she's also telling everybody we need to defend. This is why we're in the situation we're in right now, because we need to play some defense. We need to defend well. Maybe we can get back into this game. And then you saw Caitlin Clark's kind of reaction where they were going back and forth, and maybe she's telling her, I am playing defense, or I'm trying, or they're calling me for fouls that I'm not committing. And then she kind of stormed away from the huddle. And so that's where she's being asked about it. Coach is being asked about it. Teammates, everybody's being asked what happened in that situation.
Trey Schapp tweeted out a picture. Got to give him credit. There's no doubt in Baton Rouge at Doe's Eat Place who they're cheering for. And it's a picture, and there's some LSU Tigers stuff, but then there's a Little Rock Trojans jersey hanging in the locker at Doe's Eat Place in Baton Rouge last night.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, the respect that the program and Chris Curry got after last year's performance in Baton Rouge is still happening. I was talking to Coach Curry last night, and he told me, I was like, have you heard from anybody down in Baton Rouge after winning? Because he said he's flooded with text messages and congratulation notes, and he's like, yep, Jay Johnson. He's like, they stay in touch. They've created a friendship, but he had already texted and congratulating him. In fact, he texted him Sunday morning and said something to the effect, it's your turn. Now's the time. And Coach Curry just thought that was really cool that he would reach out to him on the day of the big game. But yeah, you think about it, Little Rock pushing the eventual national champions, giving them their last loss of the regular season, and pushing them to a final game in the regional finals. That opened a lot of eyes, and I saw over the weekend Matt Moscona, Matt Musso. A lot of the Baton Rouge media, Scott Schneider, who cover LSU baseball, they were retweeting the videos and pictures of Little Rock winning the regional. And it just kind of a tip of the cap to a team that pushed LSU so far and come back the next year and get it done in the Hattiesburg regional. I thought that was pretty cool. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back, we have an open segment. Haven't had many of those today. If you want to join us, 661-1037. We can talk about the Arkansas-Arizona matchup in basketball for the next 3-4 years. Little Rock Trojans. Also, NBA Finals start tomorrow night. Got to check on that and some of the odds. We'll hit that and the Middleton Heat and Air text line. Stick around. This is Out of Bounds.
Still on the sidelines? Then it's time you suit up and get in the game. Download Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app, Bet Saracen, today.
This is Sports Center.
NFL trades and signings dominated the news yesterday. Headlined by the trade of last year's Defensive Player of the Year, Myles Garrett, to the Los Angeles Rams from the Cleveland Browns. In return, the Browns will get pass rusher Jared Verse, a two-time Pro Bowler, along with multiple draft picks, including next year's first-round pick from the Rams. The New England Patriots also finalized their trade for wide receiver A.J. Brown. The Eagles received 2 future picks for Brown, while the New York Giants announced the return of wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. In other national sports, it's finals week. Game 1 of the NHL Finals is tonight between the Vegas Golden Knights and Carolina Hurricanes. Puck drops at 7 on ABC. And we know we'll have a new champion in the NBA as well after the San Antonio Spurs took care of the Oklahoma City Thunder this weekend in 7. They start their run for a 6th NBA championship as a franchise tomorrow night, where they'll face the New York Knicks, looking for their first championship in 53 years. I'm Moose for the Buzz Radio Network.
Hawks Homes has custom-built, manufactured homes under $100 per square foot. They have hundreds of floor plans available to fit your family's needs. Homes start as low as $39,995. They can finance your new home together with land so you can have one easy payment. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 bedrooms available for immediate delivery. You can view their inventory online at hawkshomes.net. Let their family help your family. Hawks Homes, Bryant and Conway.
Stay up to date with the latest Razorback news with the Red White Report. Every weekday with Justin and Phil on the Zone. The Red White Report is brought to you by Ortho Now, your walk-in solution for orthopedic care at the Orthopedic and Spine Hospital at UAMS Health.
It's Justin Akery for Kaufman by Design West. I'm here with Ruben, and there's big news out at Kaufman. Ruben, tell me why Toro mowers are such a great addition to what you guys have to offer.
Toro's been around for 100 years. When it comes to rider comfortability, they've introduced the MyRide suspension, where it really is like riding on a cloud. Superior cut quality, even cuts. This is a mower that can stick with you for a very long time.
If you want to make your outdoor space look great, Kaufman by Design West has got you covered, now including Toro mowers. Check them out at 14900 Cantrell Road or online at kaufmanlumber.com.
Camping season is here, and Razorback Camper Sales in Hot Springs is liquidating all 2026 year model travel trailers and fifth wheels. If you've been thinking about a new trailer, now is the time to buy. One of the many great deals is a 20-foot Salem with bunk beds, power awning, plywood floor, and much more for only $14,990 or $150 a month. Hurry while the selection is good. All these great deals can be seen at RazorbackCamperSales.com.
Willie D's Dueling Pianos has not moved yet. They're still rocking right here in the Little Rock River Market. Dueling Pianos upstairs, DJs downstairs with food and drinks every week. Reserve and learn more at WillieD'sPianoBar.com.
Come and get your Willie on.
Take it from Arkansas greats Joe Klein and Pat Bradley.
The big national sports apps are now in Arkansas, taking over Oaklawn and Bentley, which are no longer local,
making Bet Saracen the only real local app.
Still Arkansans' fan fave.
Plus, Bet Saracen is still the official sports betting app of many of the state's colleges and universities.
Bet Saracen, built by Arkansans for Arkansans.
Bet with Arkansans. Bet with Bet Saracen.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-MY-RESET.
Ever wonder what bugs do when you're not looking? With Bugtopia at the Little Rock Zoo, the world beneath your feet gets big. Like really big. Meet the bugs that pollinate, build, and buzz our planet to life, up close and larger than ever. Bugtopia, crawling into the Little Rock Zoo March 21st through September 20th. It's wonder magnified and included with your zoo admission. Learn more at littlerockzoo.com.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the TruService Credit Union studios. TruService Credit Union. Membership has its rewards with low-rate auto loans, competitive mortgages, and one of the lowest interest rate credit cards in the nation. TruService Credit Union. Online at TruService.net.
Welcome back. Now it's a good time to jump in here if you'd like to join Out of Bounds, 661-1037. Got a couple of things on the Middleton Heat and Air text line. We'll get on to that real quick. In fact, let's go straight to the Middleton Heat and Air text line. 501 says, the chest thumping by the Trojans make me hope they get the daylights beat out of them in the next round. Are you talking about the Troy Trojans or the Little Rock Trojans? Now, I only watched the 8th and 9th inning on Sunday. I did watch on Friday, missed Saturday. I don't think they and I know we all know Coach Curry. He's a Dave Van Horn disciple. They don't do a lot of, I think you must be talking about Troy, right? But I watched some of the Troy game last night. And yes, they get excited, but here's the thing. No matter who you're talking about, Troy and Little Rock both just did something this weekend that's never been done in school history. So if they're chest thumping and celebrating, cut them a little break. They won a regional for the first time as underdogs. No one was picking Little Rock or Troy to win their regional. So it's okay to celebrate a little bit. You know, we never talked about it yesterday. Joe, did you see the Georgia baseball player get kicked out of the game after hitting a home run?
No. What did he do to get kicked out?
All right, here's where it gets interesting. So he hits a home run, mammoth shot. It was one of those, gone. You know it's gone. He looks at it, flips the bat, turns towards the first base line, and is celebrating, chest thumping, doing whatever. Well, that's where the opposing team was sitting, that dugout. Normally, that's the Georgia dugout. But in this game, because of regionals, sometimes the home team or home stadium is the visiting team. And so they were over on the other side. Umpire says he was taunting the opposing team, ejected him out of the game.
Was there really a reason to eject him? Even if he was openly taunting them, like there should be some kind of warning or something before just going extreme and ejecting him. But also, is he directing it towards the dugout or is he directing it towards the fans that are behind the dugout?
There you go. Here's the caveat. The Georgia parents section is on top of the dugout where it normally is because Georgia's normally sitting in that dugout. Well, the Georgia parents and Georgia fans were above the dugout, including his mom and dad. A reporter for D1 Baseball was sitting there, one row behind his mom and dad, and took a picture, and you can see him looking up into the stands, not into the dugout. I thought that was a little ticky-tacky. There are teams that go above way too far, and he was celebrating, and you can make the argument. But when you find out that and that's part of the problem with these regionals, and you have a home team that is in the visiting dugout, but their home fans aren't sitting where they're above their dugout. That's what they should have done, is move his parents in front of their dugout. So when he rounds third, then he can celebrate and look up at his parents. But in a case like this, all the Georgia fans, his parent section is above the dugout. I bet Pryor, he is a big baseball guy. Let's get his 2 cents. What's up, Pryor?
Hey, Wes, how y'all doing today?
It's good.
Good.
You know, my problem with Trey Jones there from Georgia, act like you've done it before. I mean, he's a great ball player. I don't know. And it's not like it was a late inning home run. It was fourth, fifth inning. And he got that carried away with it. And then I love Wes Johnson to death. He was 2 years behind me at Sylvan Hills. I've known him all my life. His dad was one of my Legion coaches. But for him to go out there and say that it was all about his parents and that he wants his players to express their emotions, I think that turned a lot of people off. That's just my 2 cents. I'm more old school about it. You know, just like the Arizona State player that got tossed for the bat flip. I don't know if you saw that or not.
Yeah.
Can you remember his name now? The left fielder that's so good.
Yeah.
Anyway, you know, some of the celebrations at the end of the game, I get. If it's late inning, I get it. let it all out. But in the middle of the game, yeah, maybe not so much. And then earlier, your guy that messaged you and said, all the chest thumping by the Trojans, could have also been talking about the USC Trojans because they did quite a bit themselves.
Oh, I forgot about that. 3 Trojans. So, yeah, we need some
3 Trojans
clarification.
in the finals,
Yeah.
in the Supers. So,
yeah.
That's a little unusual. But anyway, proud of ULR, proud of Chris Curry, what he's getting done there. Man, I just can't believe they're actually going to a Super. I did have a couple of former teammates that live in Mississippi that went down to Hattiesburg Sunday night to watch it. Wish I could have been there, but what the emotions that all of us have as former players and alumni, it's just overwhelming right now. So, beyond proud of what those guys are getting done. So.
Pryor, every time they showed some of the Trojan fans in the stands, I was scanning, looking for you. I had a feeling you were there.
If we had not, I've already made plans to be in Dallas Friday night, and if we had not had those plans, we would have gone down. And then we talked about leaving Arlington and driving straight over to Hattiesburg, and things just didn't work out for us to do it. And I've already started exploring going to Troy, so.
If you go to Troy, you got to call us Friday.
I'll do it.
All right.
All right. Y'all have a great rest of the day.
You too. Thanks for the call, Pryor.
Thanks.
Just have to agree to disagree with Pryor. I thought it was a key moment in the game. Georgia was losing, I believe, at that time. It was a tight game. It's the regional final. You get the big blow to give Georgia the lead. Celebrate. Have fun. And I didn't think he went – and it's a fine line. I'll give you that. Going too far and celebrating in excess. But that's an interpretation rule from that home plate umpire. In a game like that, you got to give a little bit more grace. You got to give them a little bit more.
Baseball has it's lightened up a bit and is embracing some of these celebrations more, but I mean, this is how you appeal to younger generation.
Mm-hmm.
They're all about these celebrations. So if the game is going to continue and grow and reach out to younger generations, you got to embrace that part of it too.
Skipper says, Wes, tell me this is BS. Let me click on the picture. Yes, it's BS. Skipper, come on. This is from social media, the stupid Inside Razorback something account. Breaking news that Arkansas is parting with Van Horn. He's going to a longtime rival of Arkansas, while the front office has already selected a new face to lead the team. Yes, this account is so freaking bad, and it happens once a month. We get somebody that asked us if there was that they did a post that Nolan had died. They did a post that Chuck Barrett had died. They did a post that Bobby Petrino and his wife had twins. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It is BS, Skipper. Block and report that account to social media. And so it's misleading. It's not even misleading. It's just straight out a lie. Let's go to Rodney. He's in Fayetteville. Rodney, welcome to Out of Bounds.
Hey, guys. I've got a rumor check, I guess I can call it. And maybe y'all know. I've been hearing that there's a guy by the name of Jeff Long that is working side by side Hunter Urick junk. Have y'all heard that?
No. That would be a nightmare for some Razorback fans.
Well, I really have been hearing the rumor, and that when he went over there to the SEC selection committee, that Jeff Long was by Hunter Urick junk.
I don't think
I'm sorry, guys. That's how I feel about our athletic director. I apologize.
All right.
To you guys.
That's all right. You're not.
But you're taking the tennis. You're taking the tennis away. You did different things. You know how I feel.
Yep.
But I just didn't know if you guys maybe had heard And that's what I was wondering. And kind of, if you would, keep your ears to the ground for me and let me know if you heard that. I'd appreciate it.
All right, Rodney. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. 253 says there are multiple SEC coaches that make double DVH's salary.
Yeah, they won championships.
Yeah. I can Google it. I would say this. Anytime I hear about salary at DVH, it's salary for his assistants that he's fighting for. Now, maybe I haven't heard this, and it's true, but I think the concern is Dave Van Horn has for his assistants and would like to get them more money. All right, here it is. Highest paid baseball coaches. Jay Johnson, LSU, highest paid coach. Just won a national championship. I got it. Brian O'Connor, Mississippi State, hired him away from Virginia after winning a national championship. He's making 2.9. Jay Johnson, by the way, 3.3 according to this search.
So far, 2 for 2 on deserved.
And those are the only two making double Dave Van Horn. So, yes, multiple. Tim Corbin, 2.4 at Vanderbilt. Now, that is not publicly listed, but it is estimated to be an annual salary of 2.4.
Was he there when they won their championship?
Yes, he's been there forever.
There you go.
Jim Schlossnagel from Texas.
Yes.
He's making 2.6. Now, the first 2 years of his deal, he only made $1 million. It was backloaded on the final 3 years, so to even out. I think they were paying a buyout and another coach, and so the first 2 years were only $1 million.
And to get him to make a move, also,
yes.
You have to pony up.
Now, here's some guys that are where Van Horn should be in the range. Kevin O'Sullivan. Now, Sullivan's won national championships at Florida. He's at 1.8. Mike Bianco at Ole Miss, 1.6. He's won a national championship.
Yeah, all these coaches have won.
Butch Thompson at Auburn has not. He is now making 1.5. Rob Vaughn, who has just been extended at Alabama, 1.5. And then Dave Van Horn at 1.4. I think Dave should be right there with above Butch Thompson and Rob Vaughn, and right there with Bianco and O'Sullivan with their tenure. Of course, they have national championships. Dave Van Horn doesn't. So I would say he should get a $200,000 raise. But how about the deal that Arkansas is getting? Dave Van Horn is the ninth, at least according to this, the ninth highest paid coach in the SEC in baseball. How do y'all know there wasn't a previous warning? I don't think. Also, lethal, super lethal is inappropriate language for anybody. Remember, lethal means deadly. Come on, dude. Take a break. It's just like saying the Trojan War. Yes, war is serious stuff and people die, but it's okay to say the Trojan War. We're talking about baseball here. He's talking about baseball. They're super lethal. They're offensive attack, pitching. Drop it. Don't bring that. Be better. He did more than just the first baseline. He did it all the way around and did some chirping at the second baseman of the other team. I get it. Some of y'all don't like it. He was having fun celebrating. I didn't have a problem with it. I didn't think he went above and crossed that line. 501 says, I'm a UALR alumni. I bought my Little Rock baseball T-shirt today, and I'm already on the list for season tickets for next year. Go Trojans.
Nice.
That's what we're talking about there. That's what they need. They need a commitment for season tickets. Soon they're going to be asking for commitments to help build the new stadium. We need to get Frank Cuervo on tomorrow. I just thought about that. I wonder how this run helps financially. We know in college football when you make the playoff, you make your conference more money and that divvies it up. And I'm guessing it's the same way. It's the same way in basketball. When SEC teams make a deep run, Final Four, win a national championship, SEC collects bigger amounts of money, and that's more to send out. So I'm guessing they're making money for the OVC that they're leaving, that they will I guess we'll get, or will the other OVC teams get that? Because they're moving conferences in 30 days. Okay, we definitely got to get Frank Cuervo on. Now I'm intrigued. Skipper wrote back, says he reported the article. Thank you. I'm curious why Hunter isn't sued them and got the money. Because you probably couldn't find them, and they probably got nothing to sue for. It's just some. I'm not going there. And Skipper was talking about the fake Dave Van Horn news he saw on social media. Back to the Georgia game, says the guy from the 901. The video I saw, it looked like the ump at first base was the one with the problem and went to the head umpire who got the old boy thrown out. I didn't notice that. I thought it was the home plate umpire. You could be right. I'm not arguing with you. Todd's in Little Rock. Hey, Todd.
Hey, Wes. Well, I'm going to give this perspective from some people that don't like people. I've been on the ball field. These guys were warned after their tournament last week about all this taunting. It got out of hand, and what he did, he should have been thrown out.
You think he went above?
Because
he went too far?
You're taunting the other team.
How do you know he was taunting the other team and not celebrating and looking at his parents?
The handprints and looking at the dugout, and then doing that little gesture like you don't belong on my field with me.
I know.
I've seen it firsthand, Wes.
Yeah, but how do you know he wasn't looking at his parents? There's no way of knowing if he was looking in the dugout or up two rows to his parents.
That's about the stupidest comment, because the way he was looking, he should have never turned and did that.
I would tell you.
He was thrown out by the first base umpire.
It was the first base umpire.
But, you know, there should be no taunting. I mean, just like the kid that threw the bat up in the air because he struck out. They threw him out. But it's this baseball taunting and pitchers running their mouth, it's got out of hand. I mean, I can see it. I've seen it.
Todd, I respect your opinion. I do. I respect your opinion, and I know there's another side to it. I appreciate your call. I would say take a look, and I think it was Aaron, what's his name, D1 Baseball, Aaron, I'll think of it in a second. Anyway, he tweeted out a picture. He was sitting behind the player's mom and dad, and he took a picture. And it shows him looking up, almost looking into the camera, but it was because his mom and dad was sitting the row in front of him. And he said, I have more pictures, but his dad stood up and was blocking my view of the rest of the pictures. But there is just one picture, and you can clearly see him looking up. Umpire, Todd, are assuming he's looking in the dugout and taunting. All I'm saying is presenting another side. Could he have been looking up 2 rows above the dugout at his parents? Could he? Yeah. And this picture clearly showed it. Now, could he have looked down at the dugout 5 frames later and been taunting the dugout? Sure. I'll give you that.
That sounds like a commercial from NCAA tournament. UCLA's Lauren Betts, who's now a WNBA player, that her and her sister, they were pointing into the crowd, and there are 2 guys saying, oh, she pointed at me. They pointed at me. And then their mom is right behind the 2 guys. And they look up, and they're like, oh, no, they're pointing to their mom.
It's like a yelling from the dugout at the home plate umpire, but saying, we weren't yelling at you. We were yelling at our catcher.
Yeah, let's see if that goes over. No. Never happens like that.
That's good discussion. We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll wrap this thing up. Appreciate all the feedback. Stick around. It's Out of Bounds.
You can't always see what's in the air, but dust, allergens, contaminants, even mold could be affecting your health. Learn about air quality testing at rainbowrestores.com. When the unthinkable happens, damage from smoke, water, fire, mold, or just poor air quality, let Rainbow Restoration fix your home or business. With their 24/7 rapid response, you'll get your life back on track fast. RainbowRestores.com. Rainbow Restoration. They restore, you recover. Services performed by an independently owned and operated franchise.
FanDuel is giving you better payouts on same-game parlays all NBA playoffs long. With more ways to build and more value every time you play, you can stack your picks your way for every game, every matchup, and every moment. From spreads to player points to three-pointers and more. So whether you think Wembanyama is going to go for 40, 10, and 20 assists, or you think he's going to get shut down by the opponent, you can make your wagers at FanDuel. If you're rooting for the top seeds to go all the way, or you're hoping that an underdog upsets them in the playoffs, FanDuel's got you covered. Build it all into one same-game parlay and go for bigger payouts. If you're betting same-game parlays this NBA postseason, you should be betting them on FanDuel. More options, better payouts, all NBA playoffs long. All you have to do is head to FanDuel.com/Arkansas to get started. FanDuel, an official partner of the NBA. Play your game. You must be 21 and up and present in Arkansas. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Congratulations to Jackson Keys of Bentonville and Zoe Smith of Little Rock Central for being named the All-Arkansas Preps Outstanding Players of the Year in Swim as chosen by the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. They are among the 400 Arkansas high school athletes who will be honored at the All-Arkansas Preps Award Banquet on Saturday, June 20th, sponsored by CHI of St. Vincent. The event is emceed by Steve Sullivan with special guest David Basil, featuring a conversation with Arkansas Razorback and Paralympian Hunter Woodhall. To find out more about the athletes selected or to purchase your tickets to the event, visit allarkansaspreps.com.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code GO to borrow up to $10,000. Use code GO to borrow up to $10,000.
Hey, it's David Basil for my good friends at Luxury Pool and Spa in Conway and Russellville, celebrating 50 years in business. Now is the time to start planning for your new pool. It's a huge investment, and having a company that you can trust is crucial. Owners Jeremy and Shane Lawson build the pools themselves, so they will know every inch of your new pool. Luxury Pool and Spa is also your Central Arkansas headquarters for chemicals, and they have great rebates going on now for Pool Life and Backwoods Hill Pool Chemicals. Just bring in a water sample, and the trained professionals at Luxury Pool and Spa will ensure that your pool has the proper chemicals needed. Luxury Pool and Spa is also the proud dealer of Polywood Outdoor Furniture with Climate Tough and a 20-year warranty. They also carry Pentair pool equipment, pool toys, and the Big Green Eggs. It's the perfect time to turn your backyard into your everyday oasis this summer with Luxury Pool and Spa, celebrating 50 years in business. Take it from a happy customer, they are the best. Live the life of luxury with Luxury Pool and Spa. Check them out online at luxurypoolarkansas.com.
Out of Bounds on 103.7 The Buzz. Live from the TruService Credit Union Studios. Online at TruService.net.
Push the off of the porch or break up down. Get this if it happen to blow, it makes a round sounds. Piece of cat on my lap, push it back and go to town down. Putting rap on my back and I'm black and snatching crowns.
Back at it, it's Out of Bounds. Wes Moore, Joe Franklin, wrapping up our Tuesday. It has been a fun day. I appreciate all the discussion about the Georgia player. A lot of good comments. For the comments, though, that act like you've been there before, I got to think that's the first time he's ever hit a home run, go-ahead home run in the regionals to send you to the super regionals in front of, 6,000 people like that, an intense ball game. It's different from a regular season home run. Yes, I know he's hit a lot of home runs this year. That was the biggest home run he's hit all year. So I'm willing to give him a little break for celebrating. Little bit different situation there. Somebody asked what they thought, what would happen if he did that playing for Dave Van Horn. Well, that's part of what they instilled there from day one. You don't do that kind of stuff. That's the way when you play at Arkansas. That's part of the expectations. That's the way you act. It's not that way everywhere. Doesn't mean Arkansas is doing it right or wrong, or other programs are doing it right or wrong. That's just the way they do it at Arkansas. Although, Kahil Loy stood around and watched that massive drive he hit the other day, well, I guess about a month ago. He stood there, and the home plate umpire had to tell him to get moving. Let's go, move along. But when you hit one like that, I think it's okay to admire it a little bit.
Once again, baseball players deserve to be able to celebrate.
Yeah, somebody said, and they agreed. We've got it's a great topic. I got people calling in that are against it. We've had people writing in on the Middleton Heat and Air text line. They liked it. They didn't see a problem with it. You celebrate in the NFL, you celebrate in others. Why not? Why can't you celebrate a little bit in college baseball?
Well, it seems to be a double standard, though. If you're at the plate, you're not allowed to celebrate in the same way you can on the mound. You see pitchers with these massive celebrations, and they're looking right at the player they just struck out or whatever the case may be. But then as a hitter, if you hit a shot, you're not supposed to show up the pitcher.
Somebody made the point. It's okay to celebrate if it's okay for me to hit him the next time he's at the plate.
Okay, a batter, is he going to take a bat to the mound?
In game justice right there. Double R's here. What's coming up next on Drive Time Sports? You don't have to put your headphones on. You can hear me, can't you?
Yeah. Again, busy day. Busy day. We got a lot going on. GrayBittyHogSports.com. Courtney Mims, Fox 16 Sports Director. Kevin McPherson, they're known as Hoop Scoop. Nolan Souza. 6 o'clock. Nolan Souza, 6 o'clock. I'm glad I found out about Dave Van Horn getting fired, though.
Isn't that crazy?
Learned it right here on Out of Bounds.
Is happening at Honda Russellville. Get more done with a Pioneer 700 or 1000 side-by-side. Swing a leg over a dependable 4-Trax Rancher ATV. Take your crew in a 4-seat Pioneer 704 or 5-seat Pioneer 1005. Bonus bucks on select models plus low-rate financing for qualified buyers.